are these people?
I got a little treat.
I'm not going anywhere.
It's Randy Newman for that ass.
Ooh! Got a friend
There's
in
a
me.
red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. Now there's an oil barge winding on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. Cleveland, city of light, city of magic. Cleveland, city of light, you're calling me. Cleveland, even now I can remember, 'cause the Cuyahoga River goes smoking through my dreams. So burn on, big river, burn on. Oh, burn on, big river, burn on. Well, the Lord can make you tumble. Yeah, the Lord can make you turn. God can make you overflow. The Lord can make you burn. So burn on, big river, burn on.
Who are these people?
Wait, turns out I have something else to say. But words have let us all down. We are in the waste now. If we choose to lay down, let them bring our wage down. Nancy, once you face down, pray. If you find resilience in your faith, 'cause it's on all of us to lead the way. It takes all of us to lift the weight. We were told it's normal and required that we suffocate. Wait, 'cause I will not be carried to my grave in perfect health and perfectly awake. The earth is not the sweetest of escapes, but the surface is a merciless, purpose-sickened place. Don't stay. Tell him that he doesn't have to stay. Hold his hand and let him slip away. There is nothing here that's worth the wait. Nothing good is waiting in the wings. Don't stay. Oh, don't stay. All our lives just frozen in time, frozen in time. Only so much shown through in time, frozen in time.
Who are these people?
So this is militia intent. You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. No, I play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead. Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, I play civil when all these dead won't make you listen.
What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? Man, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me, 'cause I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory, and leave them there. And Hillary, I'll see you there. Oh, Hillary, I'll see you there. No, you can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. No, I play civil when you wouldn't listen to 100,000 dead. Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, I play civil when all these dead won't make you listen. Welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. Welcome to the last of the free speech while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats, second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists, and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust and there's just moral justice after that, I would hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. Just so I could rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. I can sleep fine when our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. 'Cause as long as I can lay my head down, I can live with that. See, I could deal with a little ash. I could feel like a little of the old me burn with the bad and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back. Well, those days are behind us. The virus will kill all of that. Your wealth is behind us and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. They feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion and people in need are all it will have. Our only chance is to starve it and watch as it turns on them. You
can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. And that's Militia Intent.
Militia Intent.
Who are these people?
So this is Militia Intent.
Who are these people?
I think we're up for our last song. So we've got another later game, another short hair Metallica. Sorry. And my wife was kind enough the other day when I was practicing this to point out how much it sounds like Janie's Got a Gun, and now I'll never be able to hear the song the same because
Right.
that's all I'm going to hear when I hear it. So.
They try and break me. Mama, they try and break me. Window burns to light the way back home. Light that warms no matter where they go. They're off to find the hero of the day. But what if they should fall by someone's wicked way? Still the window burns, time so slowly it turns. Someone there is sighing. Keepers of the flames, do you feel your names? Can you hear your babies crying? Mama, they try and break me. Still they try and break me. Excuse me while I tender how I feel. These things return to me that still seem real. Now deservingly this easy chair, but the rocking star of our wheels of despair don't want your aid, but the fist I made for years can't hold or heal. And no, I'm not all me, so please excuse me while I tell you how I feel. But now the dreams and waking screams, oh, whatever lasts the night. So build a wall behind it, crawl and hide until it's light. So can you hear your babies crying now? And still the window burns, time so slowly it turns, and someone there is sighing. Keepers of the flames, do you hear your names? Can you hear your babies crying? But now the dreams and waking screams, oh, whatever lasts the night. So build a wall behind it, crawl and hide until it's light. So can you hear your
they tried. Mama, they tried. Mama, they tried and break me. Mama, they tried and break me. Mama, they tried and break me. Mama, they tried. Mama, they tried. Oh! Oh, I almost did a spit take. I almost lost the last of my coffee.
Ah.
For it.
Excuse me while I tend to how I feel. I was gonna make that a duet, but I was like, no, I can't. I know the words, but I can't. I literally I wasn't sure that I know all the words, and that was part of it. I'm not that confident that I know all the words, but goddamn, I still know all the words. How about that?
Oh man.
Oh, we have lots of fun here.
You know what's funny? When I thought about doing that song, I was like, this was just one of those songs that, like, I didn't. Looking back now, this is one of Metallica's finest songs. And back then, I just remember being like, oh, this is kind of a little bit more laid back for them. But like, it's a damn good song. It's a really, really damn good song. So
really damn good. You're the day, no leaf clover. You're with the load and the reload. And Blackout. So we're into the 90s.
Who are these people?
this is Sunday Morning 40. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. You said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. See, Nancy's gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of those dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family, slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch, and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them. Playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward in 40 Sunday mornings, fade 250,000 people in its wake, and a cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. No. Wait. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. You said you waited for warning, but the warning never came. To shine a light in my face. You said you waited for warning, but the warning never.
No, Indie Left, what is happening here?
To check out IndependentLeft.news.
The Indie News Network.
Indie Left News.
Oh, hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.news. Great work.
Indie Left News.
Independent Left.news.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News. Shout out. Oh, what's up, Independent Left? Friend show.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
The INN, Indie, you're wonderful.
I think Indie was onto something.
Independent News Network, Indie News.
Yeah. What's up, Indie, over on Rockfin?
Independent News Network, also known as INN.
Indie Left News.
I don't know if I would have made it through that 3 weeks without Indie, honestly.
No, I was just going to ask Indie.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
No, you know what we're doing? We're world building, Indie.
Indie Left News.
You were doing the INN recruiting.
Indie News.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News.
Check out Independent Left News.
At Kennedy News.
I see Indie's in the chat. Hi, Indie. Okay, great. Bye.
Hi, everybody. What's up? It's Sunday night. Dr. Nick Wow. Thank you, Dr. Nick. INN greater than Mint Press News. Well, we love Mint Press News. I'm not gonna go there, but okay. Thank you so much, by the way, for the super chat, $2 super chat for putting on Hero of the Day. Yes, I found a couple of my favorite greatest hits from American Tradition, threw them into a playlist about an hour ago, and was like, yeah, I think that we really need to play some of these songs. And the Burn On song, I don't know if you caught that early on. I'm not even sure I'm going to crop this out because the music is so good early on. So, yeah, welcome to American Tradition. No. See that? Indies High, it's Sunday night. This is How Do We Miss That, everybody? I am only doing my third, technically fourth show this week. We have fun here at INN. And we thank everybody for being here. And let me tell you, Mastermind Hour, we've definitely got an all-star roster of people in chat that have been here the entire week. And that's Rick Solis and Mastermind Hour and Dr. Nick Riviera. And this guy sitting next to me, Reef Freeland, by the way. He's certainly been at all the stuff. And we got Brother Colin out there in the chats as well, INN member, and fighting it out there on Twitter with everyone. Ooh, we've had a week as a network, and it's been fun. So I love my INN family. We don't see any INN logos right now, but we are members of Indie News Network, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Welcome everybody to How Do We Miss That? Well, thank you. Welcome everybody to How Do We Miss That? How Do We Miss That is a show featuring articles written by independent journalists who expose corruption, cover workers organizing, and cover environmental crises while challenging corporate establishment narratives and talking points. New episodes streamed live Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Rockfin, Substack, Facebook, and Telegram channels. Yes, we are live on Telegram right now, t.me/IND. I think it's IND Left News. Podcast. Also, we got a podcast usually published within a day or two to Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, everywhere you get podcasts. Google, look for How Do We Miss That by Indie Media Today, or you can also look up Indie News Network for that. I am Indie, by the way, so people on the podcast that are hearing my voice and don't see me and see the avatar that has my name, I am Indie. I am the founder and creator of the Indie Media Today Substack. Jesus, Daddy can't talk this week. Creator of the Indie Media Awards, co-host of American Tradition with Jesse, Jen, and INN, of which you heard a few songs in the pre-show. Executive producer for the Politics of Survival with Tara Reid on INN, and associate producer for the Misty Winston Show on TNT Radio. I help her book her shows and keep the calendar, and as well as do her Substack for Misty Winston Show, TNTRadio.live. Everybody go over there and check out her channel over there and all the interviews she does. 5 days a week. She does a 1 hour interview every day. I got this guy next to me. He's Reef Freeland.
Motherfucker, do you speak it?
Some days I do, some days I don't. But I got Reef Freeland sitting next to me. He's INN's technical director, and he's the creator, engineer, and co-host of INN News, which you can see every Wednesday night on Indie News Network. He is the producer for Politics of Survival with Tara Reid and on INN, and engineers all her streams, and producer and engineer for Bitch with Comrade Misty on INN. We are both co-founders. I love you, bitch. Yeah, I love you, bitch. Thank you. And he's also the master of the soundboard, by the way. And you're going to hear a lot of that this week. And I know everyone loves Reese soundboard, so we're going to get more of that. We are both co-founders of Indie News Network, INN, a collaborative family of independent content creators. And you can find all our channels on inn.network or indienews.network, whichever you prefer. I like inn.network. I think it's easier. Please make sure, by the way, to share the link, like the stream, subscribe to our channel on all the platforms you watch and listen, and give us a 5-star rating if you're on a podcast platform. We appreciate that. Leave us a nice review, comment, like. That's also really important, is commenting on our YouTube videos. That drives the algorithm just as much once we've published clips and even after the live stream is over with, to leave comments, and people that are coming to watch later can see that there's a bunch of people commenting. So let me go. Yeah. I used the same thumbnail this week as I did last week because I think it's banging, personally. And Everybody is great here in chat. Love that. We don't have too many stories today because I want to get really deep into, we talked about the UPS and Teamsters last week, and we predicted that the pilots coming to the table, or pilots saying that they would not cross the picket line. Let's go back to Reefy and me. That's what by the way, my kids call him
deep, huh?
My kids call him Reefy Poo. Just in case anybody,
we're going hard.
Just in case anybody wants to use that, you'd be my guest. Okay. So, yeah. Wait, where is that? That should be, I don't know. That didn't work. Anyway. Yeah, we're going to get in really deep. That's what she said. Yes, that's what she said. So UPS Teamsters did not strike. There was a tentative agreement that was reached that will prevent the drivers and the 340,000 from going on strike. And we're going to talk about that first because there was a lot that happened there. As a follow-up, we're going to do a very brief, just 2-second mention about what happened and how we predictably saw what was going to happen when it came to yellow freight. And that's kind of sad. Not only are things going on besides the writer's strike, the actor strike, as well as the UPS thing that's happening. So we decided we're going to cover a follow-up to the school lunch thing that we did last week, another perspective there. And we're going to do a couple of Caitlin Johnstone stories because we haven't done one in a long time. And Caitlin's one of the best there is. She's an Indie Media Award honoree. Thank you. Appreciate that. IndieMediaAwards.com, by the way. That is 39 independent outlets, journalists, live streamers, and the best of the best as far as we're concerned. So definitely check that out, IndieMediaAwards.com, at Indie Media Award on Twitter. Okay, so we have got some stories, and I'm going to get right into the Teamster stuff because I am dying to talk about it. But before I do, let's go here. Okay. What happened? Tentative agreement reached. Why is this cut off at that edge? It shouldn't be. What happened? What happened? I don't know, but I hope that we're not cut off here on the edges. Good. All right. So they reach a tentative agreement. So one thing I want to get into before Monday, they published Natalia Marquez over at People's Dispatch was 4 things that we wanted to know and keep in mind before they struck. What we had said last week was that the pilots holding out and saying that they would not fly if they were going to strike is what was going to bring management back to the table. And we had learned on Sunday last week that management would be coming back to the table. And so this was Natalia's perspective on what should they be expecting, which is number one, that UPS has been releasing misleading claims on part-time pay and benefits. Right. So that was why they had broken down in the first place. Here you've got them quoting Luigi Morris's tweet, and we're going to talk and do a whole section on Luigi Morris's perspective. Why? Because he is a UPS warehouse worker. He's a member of Teamsters Local 804 in New York, but he's also a writer and photographer for Left Voice. And he's got, I love seeing kind of his perspective as the week progressed and as you saw this unfold. And I really wanted to spotlight Luigi because we've covered a couple of things that he's done, and I follow him on Instagram and on Twitter for quite a while. And, I know that he stands by and he's living this every day. So I definitely want to showcase that. What were we talking about again? The part-timers were demanding $25 an hour with starting wages. That was their hard line in the sand. Started at $15.50, now $16.65. This guy had been with UPS 10 months. No sign of that supposed $20. Right? That was what the workers were saying. Right? Considering that this contract is going to last 5 years, if they're already paying 20, making record profits, why not start with 25? And he's 100% right. Right? So the other things that they talked about was the Hollywood workers showing solidarity, which was awesome. and we saw that rally, and we put that up last week, that negotiations would be resuming, and that nearly 200 Congress members had pledged not to intervene in case of a strike. The problem with that, to me, was that's not enough. Right? That was a nice number, but that alone wasn't going to be enough to avert Congress intervening and or the White House intervening and stopping a potential strike. But as it turns out, they didn't have to. Because 5 days ago, and I believe that was Tuesday, correct?
It
was like, okay, so we covered this Sunday night at midnight. They met on Monday, and by midday Tuesday, they had already announced a historic agreement likely averting a strike. Likely, not totally. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about here. All right. UPS workers were holding placards, obviously. So this is, I only went to the best of the best. I went to Sharon. So once they announced that there was a TA, I wanted to see, first of all, a couple of different perspectives. And what I found was that Truth Out, Common Dreams, The American Prospect, with our friend and the guy we've been covering a lot, which is Luis Feliz Leon, were really providing the perspective of the Teamsters and really from the union's perspective. And then I also wanted to go to see, well, what do the rank and files say? You know, the actual workers that are in the streets. And that's when I went to World Socialist website. First of all, even though I'm not crazy about their coverage, I want to see what they're saying. They're going to be the most extreme anti-corporate. I went to Payday Report. Then we went to Socialist Alternative, and we went to Left Voice, and we grabbed a couple of articles from Left Voice, and then we also went to Luigi Morris directly. So we're going to bring in a whole bunch of different viewpoints. Some of them are going to say the same things, and I want to see that kind of unity in messaging. And I want you to see that messaging, that unity in messaging on both sides. So first of all, we have unity. Exactly. Thank you, Richie. The Teamsters have reached a new agreement with UPS that the union is touting as the most historic deal in the history of the company. I like that framing because she's starting off saying that the union is touting it as that. It not necessarily is that yet. Likely avoiding the 340,000 worker strike that was slated to start August 1st. It will avoid it as of August 1st, but it may just kick the can down the road a little further. And that's what she's going to say here. Union and Company announced the deal Tuesday, just hours after they had returned to the bargaining table following a collapse in negotiations. I thought that corporate was going to cave and give the drivers and give the union whatever they wanted. And to me, my question is, why didn't they hold out for more? Why were they in such a hurry to run back and make a deal? They had leverage finally. They had the pilots in their pocket. Reef?
What?
Why did the Teamsters, in my mind, give in and negotiate with corporate rather than holding firm and saying, these are our terms, $25 an hour. Now, let's get into, he's going to say that we demanded the best contract. Now, here we go. Sean O'Brien, I gave him a lot of props last week, a lot of flowery rhetoric. And I said, let's see what happens. And I was very skeptical. And I had good reason to be. And I congratulated them right away when they made this deal. And I said, look, you guys got something done. And I give you a lot of credit for that. And as the reviews poured in about what this actually was, it wasn't exactly the best deal they probably could have made. And they're spiking the football, on the 5-yard line because they haven't made the end zone yet. And they didn't even get they're really spiking the football for kicking a field goal because they didn't get everything they wanted. They didn't score a touchdown. And you didn't necessarily even win the game.
Why?
All right, I'm going to Justin Jackson them. That's funny. See, Ryan Grimm, that's how you talk football and actually make sense. All right. So, Yes, we've changed the game, battling it out day and night. This is Sean O'Brien, battling it out day and night. Make sure our members want an agreement that pays strong wages, rewards their labor, and doesn't require a single concession. This was their thing. No concessions. This contract sets a new... Well, then if you got no concessions, well, you didn't get your demands met. So those were concessions. $21 an hour instead of $25. That's a concession, Sean. This contract sets a new standard in the labor movement and raises the bar for all workers. Yes, it does. It does well, but it's still a half measure. And that's what Colin was screaming about. Well, that's what Colin was screaming about, is this is what you get with unions, is you're going to get compromise. You're always going to get that. And I'm going to provide a perspective on why they would take a deal. And it's lame, and I don't subscribe to it, but at least it's something. So here you go. The UPS CEO called the deal a win-win-win. When you've got the CEO of UPS, when you've got everybody on Capitol Hill all touting this deal as a good thing, the workers got screwed. The company was going to lose $810 million from a 10-day strike and potentially a large number of customers, which happened during UPS's last strike in 97. We talked about that last week, right? So now you're very loud all of a sudden. Did you change something? You just
yes, Colin said I was low.
Fine, now you're loud in my ear. But okay.
Hopefully this fixes it.
That's okay. You can scream in my ear a little.
Sorry. Okay.
Right. The existing
Tell me
workers
if I'm too loud, I can turn it down a little bit.
Right. And the existing workers are getting a raise of $275 an hour this year, $750 over the next 5 years. Part-time workers' pay is going to a base of 21, going up as low as 23 from a minimum of 16.20. So it is substantial, and that's what he keeps touting. It's a 48% raise over the course of the contract. So wait a minute. What does the cost of living go up over the 5 years, or since their last?
I bet more than $275.
Oh my God! Since their last negotiated contract. Now she's also touting, and she's basically repeating the Teamster talking points, because at this point they hadn't released the full TA. They're basically going on the PR release from the union in conjunction with UPS. So again, this contract still needs to be agreed upon by the rank and file in order to be finalized. Union leaders will be meeting at the end of the month to review the contract. So that's the rah-rah championing of the labor union side. Jake Johnson from Common Dreams also had a very similarly written article. I mean, they might as well have just teamed up and written the same thing together. He embedded a tweet from the Teamsters that had their "We've changed the game."
Right.
By the way, I'm gonna say something that may be unpopular here, but are you listening, Chris Smalls? This is how a PR arm works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, boy.
On top of that, the PR arm works with reporters to plant stories like this. UPS workers disproved that corporate media's narrative of strikes being harmful. It was UPS workers' willingness to strike, not corporate kindness, that earned them the new TA. It was also the pilots saying they weren't willing to fly, but the demonstrations and those practice pickets, like I said last week, you heard the sound of the UPS executives shitting their pants. Right? They were scared. They were scared for their own jobs, because a strike meant they were going to lose their jobs. Not just the union members could potentially lose their health care, and they were putting it all on the line. Corporate executives were going to lose their jobs. That's why they came back to the table. So here we go again. According to a statement, in the days and weeks to come, members will debate the pros and cons of the proposal. But one thing seems undeniable: any significant gains won by Teamsters against a reluctant employer will have come about because rank and file workers showed the company that they were prepared to strike. Right? And this is where they praised TDU, and we've seen a bunch of criticism of TDU as well. Teamsters for a Democratic Union, which is a longtime reform group pushing for more militancy and rank and file democracy within the union. They're also, I believe, aligned with Shama Sawant and maybe even with DSA. they noted in a statement that UPS walked away on July 5th after telling our union that they had nothing more to offer. And in the following weeks, members ramped up these practice pickets, making loud and clear they were willing to strike, and management read the writing on the wall and went from nothing more to offer to the most lucrative contract in Teamster history. And this is where I don't like...
Which sounds like he's the most progressive Democrat in modern history. Like, that's what that sounds like.
Is that the world's tallest midget?
Like...
Sorry.
Kinda.
Little person. Sorry, I don't...
Little person?
I don't want to be anti-PC here. But...
you know...
While it will be up to members to decide on the contract, at least one lesson should be clear. Strikes or the real threat of strikes work. And 100% agreed, Derek Seidman over at Truth Out. That's the reason why I wanted to put this article in, was at least Truth Out gets that strikes and the threat of strikes actually does have an effect on management. And they don't just say, we're going to replace you with scabs. Now, you need solidarity. And it was precisely because they were prepared to strike that they were able to extract new and important gains, because there was nothing else that had changed from the time that corporate had left the table. Corporate media's criticism of strikes are not uniquely applied to UPS drivers. They're deployed whenever workers threaten to strike. Teachers, nurses, railroad workers, screenwriters, they've all faced these attacks. I really like this article written by Derek. Right? They spoke to several UPS Teamsters and their supporters about corporate media narratives surrounding the potential strike. They offered starkly different arguments of a corporate powerhouse that raked in all the talking points that we've talked about. Over $100 billion in revenue last year, which is forcing a strike on itself because it refuses to pay its massive part-time workers a decent wage. So here we go. Rah, rah. This is awesome, right? Everybody's so happy. And Luis, who's been working very closely with TDU, he also got himself published in the American Prospect. Good for you, man. American Prospect is a much bigger paper, but to me, it's also got a reputation for not only being accurate, but also being kind of shit-libby. David Dayan is a TYT regular. I'm not going to cancel people for going to certain places that could give them potential bigger reach, but I am going to question...
I can.
You can, but I'm going to question why they're allowing them their work to be published in an outlet like this. But it doesn't, he's classing the joint up as far as I'm concerned. Luis, to me, is better than the American Prospect. I think that he's better than that at Labor Notes. But so he goes inside the historic contract at UPS. I think he also has started to do a little bit of PR for the union. And he, of course, wants to see this contract go through. And he thinks that it's a good thing. And he's going to argue why. Now, this is a long article. Even at 1.5 times speed, it's 12.5 minutes. I'm not going to read this whole article because Reef would murder me. But that's
I'd
okay.
let you tap first.
That's okay, because this combines with previously announced concessions. It's a lot of the same language, but I really want to get into more of the criticisms of what this is, because I think that we've seen a lot of happiness and a lot of excitement, and I haven't really seen too many people other than Shama Sawant, Worker Strike Back, and Revolutionary Blackout online, for the most part, give them all tremendous credit for saying that this was not a great deal for the workers. So, this is Luis Feliz Leon over in the American Prospect. TDU provided education, coordinating with rank and file Teamsters after members held a Teamsters United workshop and organized their own practice pickets. Local 41's leadership organized a practice picket at one of UPS's 3 major hubs in the area. So, it was showing everybody else by a small number of people standing out and stepping up and going, this is how we're going to do this, right? Perhaps the biggest victory prior to the TA involved air conditioning. And we're going to talk about air conditioning some more, because this is where, they made as part of the tentative agreement, and I don't think I actually even brought up the tentative agreement. However, it's going to say WSWS, that we're going to go to in a minute, is going to break down where it isn't necessarily great for the workers and for the drivers, right? They're saying that brown trucks are like a microwave because of the dark color.
Dark,
right?
Yep.
Another one.
What can brown do for you?
Emil, who's in that same local with Luigi Morris, right? Sales rushes like Prime Day are particularly grueling. The trucks are overflowing, and it's hard to find the packages. Last August, the UPS-Teamsters rallied that the company put fans and air conditioning in trucks instead of ratcheting up the already intense audio and video monitoring by surveillance cameras, right? And we talked about how much they're eye tracking these guys and ladies, which is gross. UPS agreed to install air conditioning in its 94,000 vehicle fleet by 2024, and also to equip trucks with new heat shields and fans. Except that's not exactly the case. I don't believe that the entire 94,000 vehicle fleet will be outfitted with air conditioning. And we're going to talk about that. That was what they wanted. That's what they say. That's what Luis is saying UPS agreed to. I don't believe that is the case, but we're going to find out. On the bustling Brooklyn practice picket line, he was handing out flyers charging $30 for plates full of West Indian staples like curry chicken, right? But 22 years ago, here's one of the guys who hired in at UPS as a part-timer and moved up to package car driver through the company's seniority system. And
right.
Part-timers can't live off $16 an hour. Again, you're talking about minimum wage. It's 100 degrees in summertime. One person packs 1,000 packages in 4 trucks. Better wages, more hours. This is what they want. So what happened here? And now what they did, and this is one of the things that I saw happening and that we've seen on Twitter in all of the breakdowns. But before we do that, let's see what everybody's saying, because I really have not taken a look. Yeah, the new contract doesn't sound legit. Yeah, exactly. That according to Child of God, Minpress News is Minar Adley. That is correct. Minar Adley. Yeah, it was really disappointing to see what happened last week. Yeah, Colin. Ooh, yeah, that's right. That's how you have a PR arm. You know, I will say that good or bad or not, there was messaging that was put out directly on behalf of the union and in the voice of the workers, whether the rank and file agreed with it or not. There was a PR arm that represented their union that was out there and in front of corporate media to put out a press release, for example, so that their messaging and their narrative gets put out first. And people are at least going from that perspective and providing that and incorporating that into whatever analysis and coverage they were going to do. Global solidarity. Thank you. Thank you about mentioning the thing with Mint Press. I am a Mint Press. Please don't, honestly, unless you're going to subscribe to INN instead, please don't cancel Mint Press. They do amazing work. They are one of 16 outlets I gave an Indie Media Award to, and that's why what they did this week hurt. Wow, that blow my eardrums out, but I love it. That's awesome. I love that sound. I'd hear it all day. But so Mint Press, everybody, for those who are in the chat and those who are on podcasts that didn't know, but Mint Press News made a video, took one of the videos that INN had published that Greg and Lucy, INN members, as well as Roger Meadows and Gaijin Girl and Bronx Kami had disrupted a Shmuley Boteach and Robert Kennedy event in, I think it was Brooklyn or New York City, and they asked really difficult, challenging questions, respectful but challenging. And one of the videos we had put up with an INN logo in the corner, Mint Press News had republished under their own name and actually overwrote the INN logo with their own and never credited INN. There was a huge outpouring of support from the independent media community, and I can't stress enough thanks and gratitude to all of our friends out in independent media that tweeted at Mint Press, that tried to reach out, and within about 24 hours, Mint Press tweeted underneath their initial video that there was credit to INN for the initial video, which was really what we had wanted. You know, it was unfortunate that 50,000 people saw their video and thinking it was their work and not this small independent network that is struggling and is minuscule and microscopic in size in comparison to, again, an outlet that we not only like, but in my mind, I revere them. Like, they're one of the best out there. They have a crack team of reporters, but I've heard some things lately about them doing a whole lot of fundraising drives and trying to gain a whole lot of money. I saw a thing about an interview with Medea Benjamin recently, and Medea has done some things that we all love Medea, but there's been some questionable stuff happening with Medea. There's a lot of questions about what's going on, and it was very sad, and it hurt to see them do that. And if they had just like shared our video or put their logo underneath ours and said that this was, we'd have been thrilled. I'd have been dancing around the room like, hey, Mint Press acknowledged us and used our stuff. That's awesome. But the way they did it, it really stuck. And
yeah, it was a little shady.
Yeah. So,
but you know, what are you gonna do?
Thank you though to everyone.
Medea is an op. I agree, Colin. I'm with you.
Thank you to everyone that would, that stepped up and that tweeted at them and that stood up for us and that understood that it was, are we all listening to a podcast? Well, yo, we could be. It is a podcast. How do we miss that? It is actually cut as a podcast and published. It is also.
What is a podcast? What even is a podcast? Who is a podcast?
So let's talk about the part-timers and the way that I think the Teamsters went and made this almost a two-tier thing. And it's funny how they were trying to eliminate the two-tier system. But World Socialist website, you can always count on WSWS to go hard on behalf of the workers and against corporate. So Tom Hall, and he's from the Socialist Equality Party over at WSWS out of California. Teamsters announced sellout deal at UPS to block the strike by 340,000 workers. This is their perspective was this is a sellout and this was intended to block the strike. I mean, based on Sean's language for the prior couple of weeks, I disagree. And I really want to read this article because I like Tom Hall. I disagree with a lot of things in World Socialist website. I think especially their COVID coverage was alarmingly alarmist, if that even is a word. But it was over the top alarmist. But their coverage of worker strikes to me is up there, and they cover more of them than just about anyone. What's your take on WSWS, Reeve?
Well, you said they're trot, so that I theory broing, trot theory. You even theory, bro?
Do you even theory, bro? So their article, Tuesday's announcement of a TA between the Teamsters Union and UPS opens a new stage in the struggle of 340,000 UPS workers. For months, Teamsters bureaucracy under General President Sean O'Brien pledged thousands of times to call a national strike if a new deal wasn't in place by August 1st. But the announcement of a TA 1 week before the deadline and only hours before the talks had restarted, after talks had restarted following a 3-week pause, has exposed this as a massive bait and switch campaign. Bait and switch campaign.
Bait and switch?
Bait and switch.
Bait and switch?
Bait and switch. Yes. Yes, it's a bait and switch campaign. So in general, how loudly the union apparatus declares an agreement historic, as well as the number of pro-corporate Democrats congratulating workers on the deal, which yesterday included Nancy Pelosi.
Who are these people?
Nancy.
Right? And AOC and others who voted last year to ban the rail strike. That's directly related to the scale of the
Who are
sellout.
these people?
Yeah, thank you. Moreover, what is left out of the highlights is always revealing as what is included. The details that have emerged in any case make clear that the agreement is historic only as a naked sellout. So here's what we get. Starting wages for part-timers, as we know, who make up 2/3 of the workforce, will increase from $15.50 per hour to $21, rising to $23 over the 5 years of the contract. But $15.50 so low that UPS has already been compelled to raise wages around the country to attract enough workers, and many already make more than $21 per hour. With a working day that lasts only 3 to 4 hours for most, this will keep the vast majority of the workforce mired in poverty.
So they got literally nothing. They already got this.
If they were making more than $21 an hour, they got nothing. Part-timers at the company's massive and modern Worldport Freight Hub in Louisville, Kentucky report having to live 3 to an apartment and even go without eating to try to make ends meet. That's nice. Thanks, UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Give you the Browns?
Well, not if you're not eating. But significantly, the highlights say nothing about pensions or healthcare, and you won't need your poop knife either. That's
poop knife.
Yes, an email bulletin sent by the Teamsters to UPS workers alleged unspecified major increases to the IBT UPS pension plan, which covers workers in 22 states. But it said nothing about pensions for workers in the country's other 28 states. Unconfirmed reports to WSWS suggested at least some other regions may not have received any increase in pension payments at all and only minimal increases to health care. That's not so great, right? The contract is going to create 7,500 new full-time positions, which they were screaming about, but that's next to nothing with a company of nearly 200,000 part-timers, some of whom have waited decades to move up to full-time status.
Yeah.
Existing and full and part-time workers will receive a $7.50 per hour wage increase over the life of the 5-year contract.
50 cent.
$7.50 over 5 years. For drivers whose wages have already been eaten up by inflation, this amounts to a pathetic 15% increase by 2028. Amounting to a substantial further cut in real wages.
Yep.
An agreement to include air conditioning in all new vehicles will leave drivers without AC into the 2040s, given that UPS keeps trucks in operation for 25 years or more.
25 years or more. Yep. Yep.
Are they going to retrofit everything now? Now we saw that article by Luis Felice Leon that says that they're going to they were going to fit the entire 94,000 vehicle fleet. That's not what I see here. New vehicles, not all vehicles.
Yep.
The contract also continues the use of Uber-style personal vehicle drivers during peak seasons, exploiting the economic desperation of part-timers by giving them 8 hours of work a day. And this is the thin end of the wedge of suppressing wages for full-time drivers or getting rid of them entirely. Why do they have to use their own personal vehicles to get a full-time day of work in? Why? Because they don't
because the company doesn't want to pay overhead cost for their own vehicles. Why the fuck would they do that? When they can make you pay it and, you know, work you to death and get all the wealth that you accrue for them, you know. But, you know, whatever.
You know, from now on,
sure, that's fine.
So from now on, the fight by UPS workers will take the form of an open conflict against the Teamsters apparatus. Workers cannot afford to be extras in a bureaucratically controlled, made-for-TV contract campaign. They must organize themselves to defeat the sellout contract and wrest control out of the hands of the union apparatus. This means the building of the UPS Workers Rank and File Committee, founded earlier this month,
as the organizing center of the opposition on the shop floor. And then you also have TDU, and they're going to talk a little bit about TDU. But the fight at UPS must be based on drawing the lessons of the experience through which workers have passed. Bureaucracy in the Teamsters and in the other unions have spent decades enforcing massive sellouts while driving strike activity to near zero. It's highly revealing that the Teamsters' most prominent boast about the deal is that it has succeeded in raising UPS workers' nominal wages to slightly above the $19 per hour starting rate at non-union Amazon. This is the result of decades of betrayals by the union bureaucracy, particularly since the mid-70s when part-timers were first introduced. Right, so they have a whole video about donation because they're always soliciting donations as well. He says, now driven by intolerable conditions, the biggest upsurge of the working class in decades is underway. This has seriously challenged the ability of the bureaucracy, which is hated and distrusted by workers, to play its appointed role of ramming through sellouts. This is shown, for example, by the simultaneous strikes by TV and film writers and actors, the first in more than 60 years, right? Well, so they were calling this strike-ready campaign at UPS was bogus. It was designed from the start as a means of getting out in front of rank-and-file anger, while the bureaucrats worked behind the scenes to engineer yet another betrayal. They were advised in this role, this is where it gets ugly, by the Teamsters for a Democratic Union, Labor Notes, that's Luis, the Democratic Socialists of America, and other pseudo-left groups, all of which have spent decades promoting the fiction of self-reform through the bureaucracy, through cosmetic changes at the top.
Reformist.
Somebody's been saying that all week. This whole thing sounds reformist. Okay?
Yep.
All of these groups have spent years recasting O'Brien, who is, in Tom's mind, a notorious thug and enforcer for the last Teamsters president, James P. Hoffa, who played a leading role in the 2013 UPS sellout contract as a militant union leader. This paved the way for O'Brien's election as general president in 2021, albeit amid the lowest turnout in the history of the direct union elections, which was a mark then beaten last year by the 9% turnout in the UAW election. In exchange, the TDU, DSA, and others have received lucrative posts in the top echelons of the apparatus as PR managers. If that's the case, and Labor Notes and American Prospect and all these guys are actually getting favors, access, and jobs to be PR managers without disclosing that, that's really really bad and really dirty. Yep. That's the accusation that I'm seeing here. That the TDU is now aligned with the Teamsters as their PR arm or part of it. In the final weeks before the TA was announced, the TDU even quietly shelved its demand for a $25 starting pay for part-timers and privately informed its supporters that that proposal was dead. Wow. That's the first I've heard that. This did not prevent Sean Orr, who's a member of DSA and TDU steering committee, from declaring the deal announced by O'Brien a great victory that was the product of the rank and file changing the leadership of our union 2 years ago.
Yep.
What's taking place at UPS is not just a contract fight, it's part of a larger political struggle. Behind O'Brien and UPS stand the Biden administration and both big business parties. Remember last week, just last week, when we said that he was warning Biden, don't intervene, please don't intervene. Can you pretty please beg not to intervene? And then he invited all the Democrats to stand on stage with him. And we were like, this doesn't look good. Right? What's taking place behind O'Brien and UPS stand the Biden administration and both big business parties. I'll read that again. The real author of the TA is not to be found in the bargaining room in D.C., but a short distance away in the White House. By drawing together with the union bureaucracy, Biden hopes to strangle the growing strike movement and impose cuts in real wages in order to both prop up Wall Street and to prepare the home front for World War III against Russia and China.
Yep.
Yep, except for one thing. It's not Biden, and we know this. It's the Biden administration.
Uh-huh.
It's
part of it.
It's the apparatus that
he's complicit.
It's the apparatus that with Derpy Joe, Sleepy Joe, Crusty Joe, Creepy Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Bush didn't do 9/11.
Pretty much. Yes, it happened on his watch.
Even though he did.
And it happened because of him, but he didn't do it because they played on the fact that he was a moron. So
yes, and Biden, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
This strategy has played out again and again, including last month on the docks, last year on the railroads, and in the oil refineries at freight companies such as Yellow, where Teamsters canceled the strike at the last minute over the weekend. Biden, the strike breaker in chief, met regularly with O'Brien in the lead up to the UPS sellout deal, as well as last year when he was preparing to ban a strike by railroad workers. Almost identical methods are being used to try to block a strike at the big three automakers. The promotion of longtime bureaucrat Sean Fain as a reform president. The elevation of the pseudo-left Unite All Workers for Democracy faction into top posts. And close collaboration between Fain and the White House, screened behind radical-sounding public statements by the union aimed at confusing the workers.
And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Yeah. What are the conclusions workers must draw? So first, as long as things remain in the hands of the union apparatus, regardless of who is leading it or what it publicly claims, the only possible outcome is a sellout. But if workers organize themselves, develop alternative structures which they control, and struggle to transfer power from the apparatus to the rank and file, they will then create the means through which they can fight the union management government conspiracy against them. I love how he gets like 89% of the way there. What he doesn't say, and what Colin is screaming at his screen right now, is workers need to own the fucking means of production. And that's where this has to go from there. Fuck unions. Unions are the concession. Unions are the compromise. Unions are not the end-all, be-all.
Thing sucks.
Exactly. I know, Colin. I love you, bro. I love you.
Yeah. Co-ops.
Co-ops.
We'll say it again.
Worker-owned co-ops.
Not the co-op that you're being co-opted, but as in a cooperative.
Correct.
You know? I know that's confusing for some of these.
Yep.
So,
well, because we're talking about Chris Smalls, co-ops and co-ops is very, very hard to tell the difference between. So
yeah.
The UPS workers rank and file committee, part of the International Workers Alliance of rank and file committees, must be developed as the organizational spearhead for a movement to reject the sellout agreement and fight for the transfer of power from the apparatus to the rank and file. As long as you retain government protection, I agree with you. But if you are going to strip workers of long, hard, and fought for government protections of their own rights, I'm not down. And rank and file committees don't do that. Co-ops do. Co-ops do.
Yep.
UPS,
and you can also union within a co-op. That's possible.
UPS workers have the most powerful allies on earth, the international working class. Workers everywhere are closely following the situation at UPS and want to unite with UPS workers because they know this is a critical battle whose outcome will affect the class struggle as a whole. By uniting with workers in other companies and industries where they're facing the same betrayals, UPS workers will find the strength they need to defeat this tentative agreement. Not gonna happen. Nice thought.
Nope.
Church of Carlin.
Yep.
But above all, The struggle at UPS raises fundamental questions of class rule. Workers are not just fighting against a greedy company, but an entire social system, capitalism, which can only continue to exist through intensified exploitation and through world war. In response, workers must take up the fight for socialism, that is, the reorganization of society to abolish the profit motive and run the world on the basis of human need, not private profit. This was not such a crappy article, I have to say, for World Socialist website. Tom Hall did a pretty good job there. Yeah. Now, I also want to shout out another friend of the show and a pretty good reporter in his own right, independent, Payday Report, Mike Elk, who I've reached out to a couple times.
I'm sorry, who?
Mike Elk. I believe his last name is actually Elkington, but he shortened it to Elk for...
It sounds like one of those names Bart asks Mo. You know?
Right? Is there
Mike
an elk?
Elk.
Is there an elk there?
Yep. Mike Elk?
Hey, Mo.
Anyway.
Right? So, Mike Elk, also, same things, greetings from the Berg, where it's been a busy day. He actually went out and also interviewed some Teamsters, again. So the news shocked many who expected that the union would hold out until at least it expired before reaching a deal. And they said it's time to pulverize. Well, I don't think that they pulverized. However, Biden pressured the Teamsters to settle nearly a week before the deadline to avoid any shocks that uncertainty of the
Funny
strike
how that comes
could
out.
cause the economy. Right?
Funny that.
Right? Not wanting to upset the White House, Teamsters leadership agreed to a tentative contract, according to interviews with various people involved in the union.
You know the thing.
Let's go, Brandon, again. Go ahead, schmucks. Keep voting Democrat. Keep voting Democrat.
Yep.
Now, Republicans weren't going to help you either, but keep saying Democrats are better, guys, because that certainly doesn't mean it is. All right. While the agreement contains a $250 an hour raise for Teamsters drivers and $750 for Teamsters drivers with more than 5 years, right? The contract leaves over 180,000 part-timers with no path to making full-time status or wages equivalent to what full-timers earn, maintaining a subcategory of part-time precarious workers at UPS. And that pisses me off. Only 7,500 part-timers are going to be converted to full-time, and less than 10,000 were converted after the 97 strike. So they didn't even do as well as when they struck last time. Is there a Harry Beaver in the house?
So riddle me this, Batman. How is it the best historically president of our union lifetime? Huh? How is it?
Well,
how is it that?
Because no contract had ever gone over $20 an hour at any point, probably, would be my guess.
Oh, okay.
That's how he's going to look, spin. Right? I petitioned with TDU for a $25 wage. And here's Chicago-based UPS part-timer Peter Lysingo told Payday Report, the part-time activists I'm plugged into are furious. I feel betrayed.
Well, and it's also the full-time workers are getting fucked over here too. Like,
yes, but they're going to talk about that in a second. But what they're doing again is creating a divide between the drivers. What they're going to do is they're going to push the full-timers to vote yes, the part-timers to vote no, at least a portion of them. They don't care if a portion of them vote no and are pissed off. They expect that a portion of them are going to vote no and be pissed off. They don't need them. Hello, it's Seymour Butts there. Seymour Butts. Is there a Seymour Butts in the house?
There might be. There's a $5 super chat from Care Bear.
Sorry, everybody.
Hopefully this move from the Biden admin will bite them in the ass.
Sorry, everybody. I'm reading chat. I'm reading chat while I'm doing this, and I'm doing.
He's getting squirreled.
I'm doing.
This is why I tell him not.
But I'm doing Mo from Simpsons. I know everybody kind of knows that reference. So, yes, hopefully this move from Biden won't bite them in the ass. But, of course, we know it will because Corn Pop was a bad dude and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I got hairy legs. They turn blonde in the sun. Here's a guy.
We're boned.
Yeah, here's a guy. Sorry. If I still can't get full-time status with 24 years seniority, that's a problem, Virginia-based UPS part-timer Zach Callahan told Payday Report. Again, shout out to Mike Elk for getting the word from the UPS part-timers. I'm in a precarious position because I need the 40-plus hours I get, but since I'm part-time, I'm only guaranteed 3 hours a day, and now it'll be 3.5, which is still weak. They can always cut my hours without notice. Right? So over the next 3 weeks, Teamsters will vote on whether or not to approve the contract, announcing their results in late August. While the Teamsters hailed this as a historic victory, it's unclear if the deal will even be able to pass. Already, there is significant resistance to the contract among part-timers. However, given the big raises for many full-time workers, those workers may vote against the interests of part-timers. Stay tuned as Payday continues to cover the fight. And please support Payday Report. I like Mike a lot. Pittsburgh Independent Media. So, from the Berg. So, what do we get? We get the perspective of Socialist Alternative, which is absolutely vote no. And why? Well, rank and file UPS Teamsters and workers strike back activists are saying vote no and escalate the fight for a strong contract. Now, this was published on the Worker Strike Back website. Worker Strike Back, as most people know here in chat, is an organization that was started by Shama Sawant. Go ahead, Reef. So call her what you like to call her.
What? Salami croissant?
Yes, salami croissant. I love it when you say that. That's very funny. We love her. She's an outstanding organizer from Seattle. She's much beloved in the lefty community, and she's been a leader in founding this organization. She's left the Seattle City Council to organize workers now nationwide in all different industries with this organization called Worker Strike Back that she's co-founded with Chris Hedges and some other folks. But not bombing some folks. We didn't torture any folks. We formed an organization with some folks. So what Shama and WSB is saying is that workers have been hit hard by inflation and unions have their highest approval ratings in decades. Millions have been looking to the Teamsters negotiations with UPS and the potential for a massive strike that could bring business as usual to a halt and help build help rebuild a fighting labor movement. For months now, rank-and-file Teamsters have been organizing their coworkers, attending rallies and practice pickets, and talking to their community about the importance of this struggle. There is a basis for an all-out fight to win the contract UPS workers need, not a negotiated deal that's acceptable to UPS executives. Yes. On July 25th, the Teamster leadership announced a tentative deal with UPS. This deal now goes to the membership for an up and down vote from August 3rd to the 22nd. While the tentative agreement is better than the sellout contracts negotiated by the corrupt Hoffa leadership since 2002, it is insufficient to meet the needs of UPS workers in a time of increasing insecurity for working people. This is the big one. UPS made profits of $13 billion last year alone, on top of handing $10 billion to stockholders while driving down workers' living standards for decades. This contract fight is the chance to make up for the losses of the past 20 plus years. We can make huge gains if we continue the struggle. This momentum, huge. Well, we can make huge gains if we continue to struggle. We have to do it in Shama's voice.
Okay. Is that her voice?
Well, I don't do it justice, but I'm sure.
Or are you doing a poo from The Simpsons right now?
It's probably
like,
more.
Which one are you doing?
It's probably more.
Yeah,
like
it's definitely a bit.
Me imitating Hank Azaria.
Sir, that is culturally insensitive.
I apologize, Lord. I apologize to all the starving pygmies out in New Guinea.
The actual fuck.
Yes, I'm sorry, Shama. You're welcome to come on the show and correct me anytime you want. Seriously. This momentum needs to be carried forward and escalated with a strike if necessary in order to win the best possible contract. And I don't know too many outlets, by the way, that will read this letter in full for their audience. So We love you guys, and we do stand in solidarity with the workers and the rank and file. During the pandemic, UPS workers were praised as working-class heroes, essential workers who kept calm and carried on throughout the horrors of the pandemic. Did she really? Kept calm and carried on, like the T-shirt says. Really, keep calm and carry on. Okay, while the billionaires made super profits, we never saw a penny in hazard pay or any other form of compensation for this, and now we face historic levels of inflation and an ongoing cost of living crisis. The proposed contract is 5 years long, and it only offers us an average of $1.50 an hour raise per year. This doesn't make up for the skyrocketing prices of housing, gas, food, and everything else. There is language in the contract for a cost of living allowance, a COLA, automatic increases linked to the inflation rate, but it only applies to workers who've reached the end of their wage progression, and it uses a convoluted formula that pays far below the actual rate of inflation. How convenient. We need cost of living raises that are directly linked to the consumer price index, but built into every step of every pay scale. That's the only way to prevent any potential raises from being eaten up by inflation and to effectively represent a pay cut for many workers. Now, we've heard about this 22.4, changes like ending the two-tier 22.4 job classification, requiring newly purchased package cars to have air conditioning, prohibiting the use of inward-facing cameras, and recognizing MLK Day as a holiday for UPS workers are improvements over the status quo, but they do not add up to the game-changing historic contract that Team OZ have claimed to win. Right?
Yep.
While union leadership says this contract will end the heated two-tier system, multiple tiers are already baked into the massive wage differential between full-time and part-time workers, between drivers and inside workers. The TA doesn't create 10,000 new full-time jobs, a strategic victory for UPS executives. Additionally, it opens the door to creating a new low-paid tier of part-time workers forced to use their own vehicles to get more hours. We should be fighting to end the personal vehicle driver classification altogether, not allowing UPS to expand it. UPS wants to use more cheap labor to get billions in profits, and we need to fight together against this attack on part-time workers.
Yep.
Now, at last year's TDU convention, Sean O'Brien said that the union should agree to Sunday working in order to keep up with the times. He was wrong to say this publicly without any consultation with the membership, because this sent a signal to UPS that he was willing to make this concession months before negotiations began. Now, despite the claim of Teamster leaders' press release that they gave zero concessions to the rank and file, the TA would allow exactly that, giving UPS the right to implement 7-day deliveries anywhere it chooses with only 45 days notice to the employees. That's actually in the TA, and she references where Article 26, Section 1E. The new language gives up the union's right to negotiate over this huge change, allowing it only for it to meet and try to resolve questions while agreeing not to unreasonably delay the transition to 7-day working. This enormous concession explains why UPS CEO Carol Tome said that this agreement gives the company the flexibility it needs. Significantly, the Wall Street Journal reported that the company isn't boasting about it, but we're told the agreement will allow more warehouse and delivery shifts on Saturdays and Sundays, which are currently understaffed.
Of course.
It is said currently... You greedy dirtbag! It is said correctly that the labor movement brought you the weekend, and now it is not the time to give up this historic gain, which was won through generations of working class struggle. Sunday working isn't keeping up with the times, it's going backward to the Victorian era. As workers organizing at Amazon have said, we work to live, we don't just live to work. And literally my wife used that phrase. We were at another family's house yesterday, and the husband is Brazilian, Shout out to Dennis if you're listening. Hi, Dennis. But my wife said to him, you know, in other countries, you guys really understand the work to live versus here where we live to work. UPS Teamsters should vote no and stop Sunday deliveries in their tracks. So here they're saying vote no and continue strike preparations. For all these reasons, WSB urges workers to vote no and join us in the fight for the contract we deserve. In the meantime, there's no reason why the union shouldn't continue practice picketing, strike plans, and community mobilization. On July 5th, UPS told the Teamsters they had nothing more to offer. It was rank-and-file Teamsters, drivers, inside workers, and part-timers all working to prepare for the possible strike, which created the pressure from outside the bargaining table to improve the TA. Yes, but it was also the pilots standing in solidarity. If the pilots decide that they're going to fly, even if these guys want to strike now because a TA was reached, it's over. A Teamster strike would cost the company anywhere from $80 million to $170 million a day, according to their own figures. In 2022 UPS, they made $13 billion in profits on revenue of $100 billion, and it expects to beat this again in 23. With record leverage to win a genuinely game-changing contract, a deep well of support from the working class public, and the wider labor movement watching closely, Teamsters should be fighting for all they can get, not just taking what's acceptable to UPS, and I will add to that letter, and the White House. Pussies.
Yep. Like if you're a union leadership at this point and you're listening or going to shaking hands with any of the administration, you are fucking up. Like, ugh.
Teamster leaders laid out a long process to discuss and adopt the tentative agreement, starting with discussions among regional leaderships, then going into discussions at locals, and finally into the hands of the members. However, with the TA now released, informal discussions are already taking place in every warehouse, break room, and parking lot. Organizers like TDU, which has had thousands of UPS workers attend meetings, should provide a structure for discussions on the TA and, more importantly, how to increase the pressure on UPS workers, if workers want to vote no and fight for more. You think Sean O'Brien's going to do that after he went and made a deal? He's now going to push every single bit that he can to get this through and to get the members to agree to this, even though it is not everything they want. So, if you're a UPS worker who wants to talk more about voting no and organizing to escalate the struggle to win the contract UPS workers deserve, are you listening, Joe? Get in touch with us. Workers Strike Back is hosting a public meeting that was today at 3 p.m. Eastern with rank-and-file Teamsters, Teamsters Mobilize, and Joe Allen, author of The Package King. Register there. So, what are the demands? And let's go over what the demands should be. A strong contract would include a base part-timer pay of $30 per hour. Forget 21, forget 23, forget 25, 30. Catch-up raises of 75 cents per year of service with a 5% annual part-timer wage increase and a 4-hour shift guarantee for all part-time workers. Right now, it's going to go up to 3.5. Making MRAs, market rate adjustments, permanent and equal across facilities in a local with contract raises and cost of living adjustments added on top. Take care of your people. You're making $13 billion a year. Paid maternity leave, not just rooms for new mothers to express breast milk while their newborns are in daycare. That's basically they're just, it's a pumping room. That's what
you mean the milking room.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Inflation adjustments for pension benefits, at least 10,000 more 22.3 full-time combo jobs national.
Like a fucking scene out of Mad Max.
I would bump that much, much higher than 10,000. I'd make it like 50,000. $13 billion. You don't have enough drivers. You got these guys who are using their own personal vehicles. Hire more full-time and put them to fucking work and eat into your $13 billion in profits. Screw your profits.
Yep.
New hires to receive health insurance after 30 working days to be codified in the national agreement. I believe right now it's 90. And 22.3 should get full-time wages. There's no good reason why they should be not get the same hourly wages rate as the RPCD, and we're doing all the hourly work, and we have the same bills to pay. Yes. I mean, everyone is doing hourly work. It's just that the part-timers are getting fewer hours to do it in.
Yep.
Air conditioning installed in all delivery trucks without delay. So that's what our friends over at Worker Strike Back and TDU, who have apparently been handed some positions, but if they're fighting this hard, now is this controlled opposition so that they have control of both sides of the narrative? Tom Hall at Socialist Equality Party and WSWS would say yes. I'm guessing he would say yes. I don't know. But I want to shout out this guy who has been awesome in sharing with us the perspective of somebody who's literally on the inside and dealing with this and going through it every day. And this is Luigi Morris. He's with Left Voice. He is a socialist. He's a lefty. He's a UPS part-timer. He's a Teamster. And it's really been interesting to see his perspective. So he wrote an article in Left Voice that there is momentum to fight for more. And he breaks it down. Now, right away, he tweeted, and I want to go over what his first thought was after seeing only the highlights. Now, he hadn't read the TA yet, but that despite some important gains, it doesn't meet many part-timers' expectations. We can definitely fight for more. Here are some of the areas where it falls short. $25 an hour minimum, right? Going from $15.50 to $21 is an important jump. But as part-timers, we were very behind on our wages. After decades of sellouts, 21 doesn't even catch up, which should be the bare minimum of inflation adjusted. Right? Part-time workers with seniority are especially frustrated because for them, under the TA, some who have been working 11 years and are already making $20.80 only get bumped to $23.55. Little over 21 and way below inflation. Depending on seniority, part-timers will be paid up to $1.50 an hour extra, divided probably in 50 cents for each 5 years or something along those lines. So they're not really going to get $1.50 an hour. It's going to be based on seniority. Then this TA means that the two-tier system between part-time workers and drivers maintained. A top rate driver will make $49 an hour by the end of the contract, while new part-timers will make around $23, less than half. Under the contract, inside workers would still have second-class status. We can't even say that our working conditions will be any better. Based just on the highlights, there's no new news of AC in the warehouses, nor any mention of making our 10-minute breaks any longer. Looks like we're still going to be guaranteed only 3.5 hours of work per day. There was no hazard pay during the pandemic. Despite exposing ourselves, risking our families' lives, keeping society running, and generating record profits for the company, the TA doesn't even include an essential workers bonus. We move over 20 million packages per day, 6% of the U.S. GDP, and 2% of the world economy. We make society run, a credible threat, secured all these concessions, but we have the power to strike and force UPS to give part-timers much more than what this TA offers. Part-time workers are the majority of the union, yet we're treated like second-class union members. We want real equality. This is why I wanted to speak up for Luigi Morris, and I feel like, and I'm glad he was interviewed, and I'll shout out Jordan Chariton for reaching out and interviewing him on Status Quo.
What?
Yep, I know. He says next week we'll be able to see the fine print of the TA and we'll have a more accurate sense of what the situation is. This is just a first approach with information that's available now. So it came out and they did release the TA. And I wanted to show this picture. And this is UPS part-timers at Griffin, Georgia. And you'll see that on my thumbnail here. Here. That's one of them. They are vote no's. That's what that's all about.
Okay.
Right? So that's Griffin, Georgia. Let's first read his article, and then I want to show one other thing about the pilots and talk about the pilots and how I have a little bit of egg on my face, and I'm gonna eat a little crow here. But let's first get into Luigi stuff, because I can't shout Luigi out enough. I love his passion. I appreciate the fact that he's putting it all out there. He's risking his job by doing this, by the way. By writing all of this and being this critical, he could lose his job any day. Because UPS can do what Amazon's been doing, what Starbucks has been doing, and get rid of any workers that are speaking out and dissenting against the company, against the TA, and against the deal potentially happening. And I'm really hoping that they don't do that. Shout out to Luigi. And, dude, thank you. So his article, again, I think covers a lot of what he tweeted. About 340,000 workers were set to go on strike in what would be the biggest strike of its kind in U.S. history. Now that strike is on hold as workers read, debate, and vote on the TA. After years of stagnant wages and deplorable working conditions, UPS workers have been organizing around the clock to fight for their demands, including much higher starting salaries for part-time workers and ending the two-tier system. Many of these demands reflect conditions that are not just limited to UPS. Winning them would have implications for the struggles of other workers in this sector who face similar conditions of precarity, low wages, hazardous conditions, and weak contracts, if they have them at all, like FedEx workers, for example. Just the possibility of a strike at UPS has struck fear into the hearts of capitalists and politicians who stand to lose billions in profits from just one day of workers walking off the job. But it's also galvanized and inspired thousands of workers and activists who see that if the working class fights back with the sharpest tool at our disposal, the strike, we can win even the demands that bosses say are impossible.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Yeah, how about that? So Left Voice sat down with UPS part-timer Luigi Morris to discuss his impressions of the contract, what's next for this struggle, and why he's going to vote no. So they asked, with the announcement of a TA, given what we know so far, what does this mean for the workers? He said after they walked away from the bargaining table, stalling negotiations for 2 weeks, UPS and Teamsters bargaining team reached a TA Tuesday morning, and this means that we won't go on strike next week as we review the proposed contract and vote on it. We know that our determination to strike and our collective action within the last couple months, with practice pickets, meetings, and demonstrations, scared UPS to its core and have already forced it to make several big concessions after decades of major losses that lowered labor standards for UPS workers in the logistics sector. This is a contract that makes some gains. We also know that we have the support of the working class as a whole, as well as strong public support for our fight. People understand that UPS workers, along with Amazon workers and many others, were at the front line in the pandemic, risking our lives while the bosses made billions. We can't continue with the conditions we've been under for years, and now we're fighting for more. Yeah. So what are some of the important victories or steps forward? So they wanted to know this. He says, again, AC will be installed on all package trucks, but after January 1st, and fans will be installed in the truck's cargo compartments. This is not a small thing, especially as workers have been fighting for this demand. However, it only makes for the minimum amount of package cars fitted with AC to be 28,000, which is only a quarter of the current fleet.
Quarter of the fleet.
We saw somewhere else.
Half, I'm not going to lie.
We saw somewhere else the 94,000 was thrown out there by Luis. That may be or may not be, but 28,000 during the life of the agreement. But we need to get these changes as soon as possible. We can't keep exposing and risking drivers and helpers to these conditions. We face record temperatures, across the world this summer due to climate change. And stories of workers dying on the job from heat are becoming disturbingly more common. Remember that UPS driver Esteban Chavez Jr. died last year after collapsing in his truck from heat stroke.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The proposed contract certainly makes some significant changes to wages that have been degraded with years of inflation. When they released the highlights of the TA, it was worded in such a way as to make full and part-time workers think that we were going to get a $10.25 per hour raise through the life of the contract. But now that we've seen the actual language of the proposed contract, it's clear that we'll only get $7.50 over the next 5 years, and that includes an automatic bump of $2.75 in 2023. That's still well below inflation. Further, it's not clear what changes are being made to pensions across classifications and the different supplementals across the country. UPS was forced to make other important concessions, which the latest TA stipulates Martin Luther King Day will be a paid holiday. Yay, 8 hours of paid holiday for free. That we'll get 2 extra sick days. That we'll get more SurePost on package cars, and more. And at the same time, there are many important shortcomings. So here's where we go. The biggest thing was the $25 an hour. Carol Tomei made $27 million last year. Meanwhile, part-time workers at UPS are living out of their cars, working 2 or more jobs, and hardly seeing their families. They're making poverty wages amid rising inflation. We deserve more. We're still national news, and there's still momentum to fight for more. Yep.
Any relation to Marissa Tomei?
Spelled differently. Actually, this would be like Mel Torme because it had the accent over it, but he's Torme and this is Tomei. Part-time workers with seniority are especially frustrated. We talked about that. For them, under the TA, someone who's been working 9 years and is already making $17.85 an hour will only get bumped to $21.50. That's not much more than the new starting wage, and it's still way below what they should be making given how inflation ensures that our wages don't go as far and cost of living keeps going up. We heard a lot about the need to get rid of the 2-tier system among drivers, and it's an amazing win that it has come to an end with this proposed contract. I don't think it really has, but the TA maintains the informal 2-tier system between part-time workers and drivers because a top rate driver, like he says, will make $49 an hour by the end of the contract, while new part-timers will start with $21 and after 3 years will reach $23. They'll make less than half the wage of a full-time driver. And they work a maximum of, they'll get 3.5 hours a day. You're talking about less than $100 a day. Like, what does it cost you to get to and from work? Under the proposed contract, inside workers would still have second-class status, and it would create a new tier separating workers hired before and after August of this year. Yay! Even more separation of the workers. There are still big changes that have to be made to our working conditions. Based on the highlights from the TA, it does seem that we're going to get It does seem that we are going to get AC in the warehouse. Okay. In the midst of this massive heat wave, part-timers like me work in sweltering warehouses, packing boxes that weigh up to 70 or even 100 pounds. It's unsafe, it's inhumane, and we don't get paid enough to go home and rest afterwards. Many people work 2, 3, or more jobs just to get by, especially if they're only working 4 hours a day and not getting 40-hour-a-week wages. Within the proposed TA, we'll still only be guaranteed 3.5 hours of work a day, which doesn't translate to even a subsistence wage. We will still only get a 10-minute break, which is far from enough to rest from the backbreaking pace of inside work, to get out of the heat for a bit, and also to have time to go for food, drink, and use the bathroom. 10-minute breaks. I know I would need at least 15 minutes personally, but I'm not gonna go into exactly why, but I think you guys can. I think you could figure it out. There was no hazard pay, right? Many of the part-time workers many of the demands of part-timers have not yet been met. We should not be left behind with this contract. And I think that they are trying to pit the part-timers against the full-timers. All right.
Yeah.
The fact that politicians and media outlets are celebrating a possible strike being averted, claiming that the struggle is over, but in the end, only the workers decide whether the contract is ratified. So what's next? How do they decide? So Luigi breaks down that the full contract was just released. There will be meetings to discuss it, and the voting will start on August 3rd and last until August 22nd. If it is voted down, the negotiations will have to resume, and the possibility of a strike will be on the table again. When will Sean O'Brien put that on the table? Will he ever? I don't know. I hope he does, and I hope they vote no. All right. So far,
he's too busy transporting people.
So far, workers'
Chief
opinions.
O'Brien, 2 people to beam up.
That's Miles O'Brien.
Bro, they're an O'Brien, right?
Workers' opinions span the entire spectrum. Some workers are satisfied with the TA, while others have mixed feelings and are not totally decided yet. An important sector is unhappy with it and is planning to push for a no vote. But there is a general feeling that we could have fought for more. We were ready to strike. And shout out to our friend INN member Joe, who works at the Philadelphia Air Hub. He expressed that he thought that this would probably go through, even though he thought it sucked, and he would vote no.
Yeah.
The upcoming meetings, conversations at work, exchanges on social media, and the time we take to read the full TA will allow us to have a better characterization of where workers stand. We definitely need not only time, but democratic spaces to discuss every aspect of the contract, the gains, the limits, and what we want to fight for. And you're certainly welcome to come and do that here on How Do We Miss That, because we've been doing that for the last hour and a half already. I told you we'd go deep on this.
Yep.
Right? And I got a little bit more. We need to organize spaces where we don't only passively listen to reports about the TA, but where we openly share our different opinions and plan next steps. Within our ranks, one of the weaknesses we have to overcome is the lack of organization among part-timers. It's very important that warehouse workers create democratic avenues to reflect on the proposed contract, debate it, and make our own decisions about the way ahead. It's the only way we can know for sure that the contract works for us. Of course, this is challenging because we all have exhausting shifts and most of us have 2 or 3 jobs. Many workers are also mothers and have double the work of raising their kids and earning enough money to pay the bills. Our bodies are usually broken. Sometimes we have parking lot meetings, which are a good space for discussion and debate, but we need to find other creative ways to discuss as a collective and to strengthen the unity between drivers and part-timers that is so vital to unite our struggle in the power of a single fist. I would say using spaces like Discord or Gilded or Slack, but although Slack is corporate and could potentially be compromised and you would have to be careful. Again, Luigi says, I think there was no need to rush to a TA just a few hours after resuming negotiations. I cannot agree more and scream at my microphone enough about why they waited, why they still had 5 days and they had to do that now.
Yep.
There were still 6 days before the strike was set to begin. We could have definitely taken what was good and continued to use the threat of the strike to pressure UPS to even greater concessions. And if they didn't meet those demands, we were ready to strike. UPS was working against the clock, not us. The threat of strike was powerful because of the strategic role that UPS workers play in the economy. Withholding our labor would have not only caused billions of dollars in losses for UPS, but it would have also disrupted the entire economy. This would have put the government in a tough spot, caught between wanting to ensure that capitalist profits flow and Joe Biden's posturing as a friend of organized labor movement to win back a working class social base to the Democratic Party ahead of the elections. We had all the leverage in our favor to have a historic strike. We would have joined the over 160,000 workers who are already on strike and who are already sending us their solidarity. There could have been over 500,000 workers on strike. That's what the working class needs to fight back. Our strike would have even involved UPS pilots who swore not to cross the picket line by flying UPS packages. Thank you, Luigi. This is the only guy, by the way, in all those articles, in all these articles, and everything that we covered, by the way. How many times did you see the word pilot mentioned?
Not many.
0 is the answer. None of them talked about the pilot solidarity, which to me was the key that brought them back to the table. UPS was eager to avert a strike that could cost the bosses billions of dollars and set the bar higher for the next contract negotiations. The politicians are happy that they may not have to deal with working class unrest. That's why we won the concessions that are already in the TA. That's the power of our collective action, and it's power we can't give up now. Our most powerful weapon is the strike. It's also the reason why workers should consider voting no on the current agreement. If we actually use that weapon, we could win all our demands, including getting part-timers at a starting wage of $25 an hour. Vote no. Again, that's Luigi Morris, Teamster, UPS part-timer, left voice photographer, and journalist. Now, speaking of the pilots, this is where I got a leg on my face.
Okay.
Now, I don't know who this is, but I put out a tweet congratulating the union and Sean O'Brien specifically for getting a deal done right away when they announced it on Tuesday. I was excited like everybody else. Hey, the workers may not have to go on strike. I understand that a strike is still disruptive to many people that can't necessarily afford to go on strike. While 93% of them did vote to go on strike, they didn't really want to. They had no other choice. What they wanted was a better deal from corporate. And if they could get a better deal, and this guy was saying that they were getting a better deal, I was happy to champion that.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets dicey. Just spoke, okay, so Sean says on July 10th, just spoke with the leadership of IPA, provided updates. So far, Captain Travis is with the pilots, is with the drivers. Bill says that he worked for an airline for 30 years. Don't spew that BS. Those pilots don't give a shit about your pizza delivery drivers. And it's funny to hear that kind of language, but this person who says, well said, IPA, President Travis is a paid-off UPS whore, constantly aiding and abetting UPS to throw UPS pilots under the bus who dare enforce airline safety and security. As long as IPA pilots wear golden UPS handcuffs, they couldn't give a damn about UPS Teamsters and will never honor a strike. I was like, fuck, dude, what are you talking about? So this is, sorry, Sean and Captain Travis. This is the UPS CEO meeting with Sean and Captain Travis. With Captain Travis. Now, what this says, and I'm going to read this.
Open a new tab.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
So, again, this is not cited in any magazine or publication. However, it makes an accusation that makes a lot of sense and has not been refuted anywhere. And talks about how UPS and IPA reigns with terror, using an epically corrupt corporate culture that's vindictive and ruthless in nature to literally destroy any employee that gets in their crosshairs for whatever reason that union deems necessary. They historically abused the airline industry substance abuse program, which is called HIMSS, to target and create the perfect compliant pilot. Now, UPS and IPA, being aware that their HIMSS abuses are known, their new game is to manufacture false allegations as grounds for termination, which is the kiss of death for a pilot to ever fly again. Once the targeted pilot is confronted with termination, they back the non-compliant pilot into a corner as if they're doing them a favor by offering early or forced retirement, demanding their willingness to sign a non-disclosure agreement so there's no transparency in the rest of pilot membership. Then they replace the old cadre of pilots.
We don't want to pay out for the insurance, so we're going to fuck you over and tell you to leave. Essentially, like, Yeah.
So UPS and IPA replaced the old cadre of pilots with new pilots or sheep coming from other demeaning pilot jobs like regionals or troubled companies who are happy to wear the UPS golden handcuffs. Therefore, UPS and IPA are guilty of wage theft, stealing years of potential senior pilot earnings, and retirement contribution benefits. Their motto is, a fired employee is a better employee. These With the help of former IPA general counsel and legal cohorts, William Trent, which is a known UPS company operative, IPA president Robert Travis, who is also a known UPS company operative, and IPA VP Stephen White, another known UPS company operative, to include other former and current compromised IPA EB executive board members. UPS has either terminated or forced early retirement against more UPS pilots in the last 11 years than almost the entire major U.S. airline industry as a whole. That's a fact. Those are actual numbers. It doesn't matter whether you believe these accusations or not. All right? Former IPA General Counsel William Trent and UPS outside counsel Tony Coleman, formerly with the law firm Frost Brown Todd, have been and are still the ringleaders of UPS's unethical workplace violence and retaliation program for labor containment against the UPS IPA pilots sustained by Robert Travis. The question is, how many more families have to be destroyed and how many more people have to die for being vocal in their attempts to do their job in enforcing safety without fear of workplace violence and retaliatory targeting by UPS and IPA against their family and careers. So that is kind of important part of the story. They're calling it Identified Pilot Association Fraud. Ha ha ha. Right? So that's the perspective there. Now, on top of that, here's someone, Sarah Nelson. Now, she's the flight attendants union. She's the head of the flight attendants union, representing 50,000 flight attendants at 19 airlines. She was cheering on the Teamsters as well. Now, this same person told her to interview Captain Green for an epic, factual UPS thriller with more nefarious intrigue than a John Grisham novel, or let UPS know the intent to interview and they will reward you handsomely for your silence, asked Joe Senka. Later, they'll confirm their willful crimes. So what are they talking about? Well, here again, you have UPS is a very brutal and hostile company. This contract is bigger than economists, blah, blah, blah. This guy, Richard Hooker, the contract needs stiffer penalties on retaliation and harassment. And why?
TJ Hooker?
Richard Hooker. Our members are tired of being bullied.
Dick, oh, you mean, I'm sorry. You mean Dick Hooker.
Dick Hooker Jr. Well, it's a junior Dick Hooker.
Okay.
This contract is bigger than economics. They call us heroes in public, then they treat us as disposable in private. We now have 2 unfair labor practice charges right now against management in our area. That's in Philadelphia, Local 623. I think a friend of ours might know them. So, one last thing about the Teamsters. We talked about Yellow Freight last week. And why did they make a deal with Yellow about the healthcare? Well, look what happened. Yellow is ceasing operations and they're shutting down.
Yeah.
So drivers are going to get screwed.
Which we kind of said would happen, right?
Was going to happen anyway. So why wouldn't they have gone on strike? It probably would have shut down the company earlier, but they're done. Yellow laid off on Friday most of its non-union employees in areas like customer service, IT, and sales. They stopped making pickups earlier in the week, and they've been delivering the remaining freight in its network ahead of what appears to be a permanent closure. What are the Teamsters going to do for these 22,000 Teamster union members? Representatives from Yellow had not commented.
Of course not.
Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us through all of that. I do have 2 other stories I want to get through. But
2?
Well, technically 3. You're going to love it. So let's do that quick. Free
Bro,
school lunches.
Okay, whatever.
This one's good. The insidious truth behind free school meals, right? Kit Knightley over at Off Guardian is talking about why the UN is pushing for universal free school meals, but that level of control would be easily abused. And I talked a little bit about this with Colin earlier. And it's funny because last week we covered the free school lunch movement and we touted it as a great thing. Why should kids go to school hungry? There's a growing international campaign to institute free school lunch meals across the globe. On the face, this might seem like a great idea, but in the new normal age, nothing is ever really free. That's the big thing. Nothing is ever free. So let's unpack. This campaign is being led and spearheaded by the UN-backed School Meals Coalition, whose self-proclaimed goal is free school meals for every child by 2030. For some reason, they're obsessed with Agenda 2030. For some reason, they're obsessed with that date. We know. The SMC already has over 80 national governments signed up to its pledge, with over 90 partners, including the Rockefeller Foundation, CIA, and these numbers are only likely to grow after their presentation at the UN's World Food Summit earlier today. At the same time, the coalition is getting glowing press write-ups like this one from The Guardian's economics editor, Larry Elliott. So for the scheme to work, rich countries would find around 1/3 of the $6 billion annual cost, would fund it, with the rest found by the governments of low-income countries through their budgets or through an innovative financing ideas such as debt for school meals swaps, under which countries would channel the savings from debt relief into school meals programs. At a time when aid budgets are being cut, $2 billion a year is a small change for donor governments and represents just 1 day's worth of annual subsidies to food producers. It's a small price to pay for something that could do so much good. Guardian, compromise. This agenda has been lurking in the shadows of UK politics for a while now, with Labour Party MP Zara Sultana first pushing FSM to all primary kids back in the winter of 2022. It feels weird to write skeptically about this because as a self-proclaimed leftist for most of my life, free school meals is exactly the kind of policy I likely would have supported without question just a few short years ago, but with those few years were the COVID years and they've taught us all a lot. So, firstly, and most importantly, it's become increasingly apparent that any policy is only as fair as the people implementing it and only as decent as the intention behind it. And however superficially humane this plan might sound, the practical impact would be to hand yet more control over to the same murderous eugenicist state that very recently killed thousands with a lie.
Well, the classic thing with healthcare too, right? Like,
right. Do you want this government?
I don't want this government. Right. No. Obviously not. I want a decent one. Like, that is for the people to make these decisions, because people should be fed regardless of if they're in school or not. You know?
Right. Secondly, a monopoly is a monopoly.
Classically reformist.
Whether it's private or state-backed, and from the moment a monopoly exists, the freedom to choose is dead. Freedom of choice is always the first liberty to go, but never the last. Consider for a moment exactly what free school meals means in a post-COVID world, still reeling from a deliberately created financial crisis and in the midst of a great reset transformation. Number one, the cost of living is soaring, and many parents, working parents as well as unemployed, here, are simply not able to afford to heat their homes or feed their children. So number two, COVID, quote unquote, caused a huge spike in homeschooling in countries around the world. And three, there is an ongoing campaign to revolutionize global food systems by promoting eating the bugs, GMOs, and lab-grown, quote unquote, meat. And let's
pause. Did you see there was like some, I think it was the BBC had some journalist do one of these pieces on lab grown meat, and they were it was human genome.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, because we have more knowledge of how to regrow human cells. That's what they were using to like grow this meat substitute.
And technically, it's not cannibalism because it was never human. Oh, it's gross. Oh my god, that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
So let's trace trace the point where all of these policies intersect, and what are we looking at? Essentially, free school meals can be used to A, counter the rise in homeschooling by effectively bribing or coercing struggling parents to keep their kids in public schools so they can be fed. B, conditioning children and their parents into accepting whatever the state chooses to provide, be it healthy GM veganism,
which most already do,
bug burgers, or lab-grown food paste. And
you
C,
just pay for that now.
And C, for that privilege. This conditioning will help to normalize a more general acceptance of these foods, because now you're conditioning them from school-age children to accept genetically modified veganism and food paste because they got it in school. And that's just the passive phase of control. We can assume it won't stop there because, of course, it never does. So maybe free school meals will one day be tied to accepting universal basic income payments, or conditional on your digital ID or your social credit score, or maybe only vaccinated children will qualify for free school meals. I'm sure you see my point. Now, at this point, you cannot go to public school unless you've been vaccinated with a bunch of different shots. Flu shot, mumps, measles, rubella. They are not, at this point, anymore, at least in my kids' public schools, requiring a COVID shot. Thank God. Thank God.
Guess what, bitch? Coronavirus!
Yep. So the unfortunate truth is that we live in an era of ever-increasing and anti-human corporate state overreach. The food might be, in the financial sense of the word, free, but there will most definitely be a price to pay. And I want to shout out Off Guardian, Kit Knightley, outstanding writer, outstanding publication. They have been poking the bear and calling shit out for a long, long time. And they've been kicked off of every major platform. They've been censored. They've been banished. They've been shadow banned. CJ Hopkins, by the way, also is a contributor to Off Guardian. We're big fans of his as well.
This another Kit? Different Kit.
Different Kit. Kit Knightley.
Kit Knightley.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, we still got 35 people. Good. Everyone's sticking with us. Sean Miller, good to see you. Team Orca. DJ Comatose, how are you, man? How's California out there? DJ Comatose, friend of the show, friend of the network, friend of Indie Left. He's a musician. Check him out as well. Check out some of his beats. All right. Two more quick articles out of Caitlin, because we haven't read Caitlin Johnstone in a long time. Caitlin, of course, is an Indie Media Award honoree, and she goes to the upper echelon to me of the Indie Media Award honorees. She's another one of the revered in my mind. One of the best there is. Nobody's perfect, and people get stuff wrong. I love her paintings of Julian Assange. I love her poetry. I love her passion. I love her rage. I love everything about her, really. And so this is our thumbnail. And we're going to read two quick articles from her. And you see the first one, which is called The Star-Spangled Kangaroo. And then the other one is talking about Victoria Nuland and about the warmongers that the Biden administration is promoting.
No, God!
So let's start with our friend.
No, God, please, no! No!
Yeah.
No! No!
Yep. So, virulent Russia hawk Victoria Nuland and less well-known virulent China hawk Charles Q. Brown are being elevated to lofty positions by the White House. Of course, this is Caitlin Johnstone. You can follow her over on Substack, Medium. Tim Foley, her husband, reads the articles on SoundCloud and YouTube, and they're incredible. But I'm going to read it because we're going to comment on it while we read.
The Biden administration looks set to become even more warlike, if you can imagine that, with virulent Russia hawk Victoria Nuland and virulent China hawk Charles Q. Brown now being elevated to lofty positions by the White House. Nuland, who is the wife of Alpha neocon Robert Kagan, has been named acting Deputy Secretary of State by Joe Biden, at least until a new Deputy Secretary has been named. This places her at second in command within the State Department, right behind Tony Blinken's stinking thinking. So there's responsible statecraft and the Quincy Institute. She probably did more than anyone to sour U.S.-Russia ties, and now she is one of Washington's top diplomats. Can I facepalm enough?
Yes.
In an article
Go right through it.
About Nuland's unique role in souring relations between the U.S. and Russia during her previous tenure in the State Department under Barack Obama, Responsible Statecraft's Connor Eccles writes the following of the latest news. Her appointment will be a boon for Russia hawks who want to turn up the heat on the Kremlin. But for those who favor a negotiated end to the conflict in Ukraine, a promotion for the notoriously undiplomatic diplomat will be a bitter pill. Yes. A few quick reminders are in order. When Nuland was serving in the Obama administration, she had a now infamous leaked call with the ambassador to Ukraine. As the Maidan uprising roiled the country, the pair of American diplomats discussed conversations with opposition leaders, and Nuland expressed support for putting Arseniy Yatsenyuk into power. She says Yats is the guy. At one memorable point in the call, Nuland said, "Fuck the EU," in response to Europe's softer stance on the protests. The controversy surrounding the call and larger implications of U.S. involvement in the ouster of Yanukovych kicked up tensions with Russia and contributed to Russian President Vladimir Putin's decision to seize Crimea in 2014 and support an insurgency in eastern Ukraine. Her handing out food to demonstrators on the ground in Kiev probably didn't help either. Yeah, I would say not. She's the worst of the worst. Nuland, along with State Department sanctions czar Daniel Fried, then led the effort to punish Putin through sanctions. Another official at state reportedly asked Fried if the Russians realized that the two hardest line people in the entire U.S. government are now in a position to go after them. So, in a 2015 Consortium News article headlined, "The Mess That Nuland Made," the late Robert Parry singled out Nuland as the primary architect of the 2014 regime change operation in Ukraine, which, as Aaron Mate explained last year...
I can get to it. What?
Hey, Ron! That wasn't the one I was looking for, but...
Which one? You were wanting this one?
They said Aaron Mate yelled at me.
That's the one.
Gotcha.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron Mate explained last year, that paved the way to the war we're seeing there today, and $150 billion later. Hopefully her position winds up being temporary. In other news, Senate Armed Services Committee has voted to confirm Biden's selection of General Charles Q. Brown Jr. as the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, replacing Mark Milley. A full Senate vote will now take place on whether to confirm Brown, currently the Air Force Chief of Staff, for the nation's highest military office.
I'm sorry, you mean Mark Milley Vanilli?
Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, I love you.
The fact that don't act like you know those lyrics. Stop. That's bad. Knowing those lyrics is bad.
Brown is unambiguous about his belief that the U.S. must hasten to militarize against China in the so-called Indo-Pacific to prepare for a confrontation between the two powers, calling for more U.S. bases in the region and increased efforts to arm Taiwan during his hearing before the Senate Armed Services Committee earlier this month.
What happened recently? Something like a $35 million military aid thing to Taiwan just recently?
I think it was more than that. I think
that's the number?
I think it was $325 million.
That's what it was.
Back in May, Moon of Alabama flagged Brown's nomination in an article which also noted that several advocates of military restraint had been resigning from their positions within the administration, including Wendy Sherman, who was the Deputy Secretary of State replaced by Newland. It is too soon to draw any firm conclusions, but to see voices of restraint stepping down and proponents of escalation stepping up could be a bad portent of things to come. Again, support Caitlin Johnstone, support Consortium News, who picks up Caitlin's stories and republishes them. The other Caitlin story that I absolutely loved, and it's short, I think, and Tim Foley reads it, and it's called The Star-Spangled Kangaroo. And you can see I isolated this, and I listened to Tim read this article on...
That looks fake.
It's real. That's fucking real.
I know, but it looks fake because it's like flat 2D sign. Like you couldn't have given that any definition, a border, something. Like it literally looks like you don't even have like a drop shadow on it.
Right.
Like someone just photoshopped it in.
No.
You know?
And that's
like I could have done this in Canva.
Right?
Right.
The USS Canberra commissioning. So a USS warship has been ushered into service in Sydney. The ship is called the USS Canberra to honor the military union of the US and Australia. And if that's still too subtle for you, it has a literal star-spangled kangaroo affixed to its side. That's right.
Explain the Canberra to people who don't know.
Canberra is a city, I believe, in Australia. So we're naming one of our warships after a city in Australia.
Okay.
That's right. The first U.S. warship ever commissioned in a foreign port has been emblazoned with a kangaroo covered in the stars and stripes of the U.S. flag. An Australian officer, right? An Australian officer will reportedly always be part of the staff of the ship to further symbolize the unholy matrimony between Australia and the U.S. war machine.
And as my Australian people would put it, that guy is a cunt.
RFK's cousin, Caroline, U.S. ambassador to Australia and a shitlib. I can think of no better symbol of this shared future than the USS Canberra, built by American workers at an Australian company in Mobile, Alabama. Her crew will always include a Royal Australian Navy sailor. From today forward, she will proudly display a star-spangled kangaroo. That is like right out of fictional movie about like.
Yep.
I want to. RFK.
I really want it. Want to zig a zig. If you want to be mad. What? Sorry.
Hey, RFK
I got
fans.
distracted.
What do you got to say about this? He's running to join a party that just did this and had a Kennedy mention the fucking thing. But he's running to. He's an outsider, guys. He's running to challenge the system.
Well, Carolyn doesn't like them. They don't go to Thanksgiving anymore.
Right. And you know what? She's right. Not because of our giddy joy over the complete absorption of Australia into the U.S. military apparatus, of course. That's a horrifying nightmare, which is increasingly putting this notion on track toward a frontline role in Washington's war plans against China. Yes, it is.
China.
But she's right that the Star-Spangled Kangaroo and ship which carries it is a perfect symbol for the way that these two nations have become inseparably intertwined. In fact, I'd take it a step further.
China.
I'd say that the Star-Spangled Kangaroo should be the new symbol for the entire nation.
How about new? You crazy Dutch bastard.
She's obviously joking, but she's saying, I mean, it might as well, right? Australia is not a sovereign nation in any meaningful way. It's functionally a U.S. military intelligence asset, and according to its defense minister, Richard Marles, its own military is being moved beyond interoperability to interchangeability with U.S. war machine so they can operate seamlessly together at speed. Yikes. Another proxy on the Barbie, as Mastermind Hour nailed it. Yes, dude, that's a great comment right there.
Yep.
A proxy on the Barbie.
Fucking prawns.
Dude, that nailed it.
That's an Australian. That's that's New Zealand with the fucking prawns.
Put another proxy on the Barbie. Fuck yeah, man. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. The U.S. imprisons Australian journalist Julian Assange, free Julian Assange, for exposing U.S. war crimes as though he's the personal property of the Pentagon. And when the U.S. doesn't like the Australian Prime Minister because he's too keen on Australian independence or perceived as too friendly with China, they simply replace him with a new one. Australians...
10 more years, Julian.
Thank you. I hope not. Australians I hope not 10 more years. Australians even found out recently that they are not permitted to know if the U.S. is bringing nuclear weapons into this country. That's a secret the U.S.
What?
Yep. That's a secret that the U.S. keeps from everyone. No. That's a secret the U.S. keeps from everyone, and the government respects their privacy on the matter. So, Caitlin thinks that the Star-Spangled Kangaroo is an entirely appropriate symbol for this country. Put it on the flag, put it on the money, put it on all the warships and planes, and even on our military uniform. When you walk into an Australian government building, Yankaroo, or whatever stupid Australian nickname that gets made up to mask the cognitive dissonance, should be the first thing everyone sees. Yankaroo. I love her. Undignified? Certainly. Humiliating? Absolutely. An admission that Australia is not a real nation? Well, of course, but at least it would be honest. If Australia is going to act as Washington's subservient basement gimp, it may as well dress the part.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Here's Caitlin saying, how would Americans feel if Australia took over its national symbol? That's Kathy Vogan, also from Consortium.
I mean, that kind of looks pretty badass. Like, I'm not going to lie, you know? Like, eagles are just that. You could put anything on an eagle and it would look good.
The kangaroo.
That looks like a fucking cartoon.
Dude, the
kangaroo. That's so stupid.
The kangaroo. And I isolated this.
Man, look at you putting a 3D model together and putting that in the fucking... Look at that.
I made the thumbnail
excellent
this weekend.
3D model. It's a perfect facsimile.
Thank you, sir.
What it really looks like.
No, that is actually the photo. And I did like the background remover. And then I went super granular and took out everything around it.
Cut it out.
You literally had just the kangaroo left. So
I've done that.
Yep.
You know.
Because
I got time.
That's right. I got time. So that was good timing. All right. Wow, we did 2 hours worth of story. Holy crap. Well, I'm sorry, everybody. And now we're gonna subject you to boats. All right, let's do that. I'm not even gonna do comments, nothing. Let's go.
And I watch mindless shit. Boats that smash into other boats.
Cool. You ready for boats, everybody?
I hope you're ready. More than ready for boats.
It's time.
We got some boats.
Nice. I'm excited for some boats.
You know.
I need boats tonight.
Everyone needs it.
Man, the Teamsters just played us all.
This is how the Teamsters exactly did it. Right here. This is accurate depiction. They almost got it. Oh, fuck. It's just fucking stuck. Like, you got it stuck. Now you got to do it again.
Damn it.
Like, anyway. Here, look. Some more boats.
What do you want to drink? Was he thirsty?
Oh, shit. He was looking for fish, dog. He's like, I think there's a fish right there.
He's lucky he stayed in the boat.
Yeah. And what else I got? What do you call this piece? What do you call that?
The triple Indy?
What do we name that? The triple Indy? The triple Indy, huh? I That's the triple indie, everybody. Why have we not made that joke before?
That just wrote itself. Seriously.
Yeah. Here you go.
Okay.
I did.
So look at this thing.
Oh.
A magnetic base pops it right to your little tray, you know, and you got your J, and you just stick it in there, and it goes out, and then you just do the ashes there, and be good to go. Save it for later. You know,
pretty ingenious.
So
ingenious. I put it out on the back of my. I just put it out on the back of my tongue.
Right. You put it on the back of your tongue.
Yes.
What are you, fucking deep throat? What are you? What are you doing?
No, it's because there's no feeling on the back of your tongue, so you can literally put out a cigarette or something on the back of your tongue, and you won't really feel it. That's when you see people do that.
Yeah.
They do it on the back of their tongue.
Oh, okay. The more you know, I guess. You know.
How about that?
Hold on. 50. Cool. And next. This is pic of me in the womb.
By the way, for those who don't know, that's a 4D ultrasound pic.
Yeah.
I've seen
it's
a few
in the
of those
fourth
in my
dimension.
life. I've seen a few of those in my life.
It came from the fourth dimension.
Well, it is inside the womb.
That's
so
where this thing's about to send you. You know this guy.
Mike Tyson getting me high so he can beat the shit out of me. I'm not falling for that, Mike.
That is a fucking weed gun.
That is awesome, but I'm not falling for that, Mike.
I really want one of those. Can someone get me one of those? Dude, I would definitely smoke with Mike Tyson. I am more than okay with doing that.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And if he wants to spar, he's just got to take care of me. All right. You know. Can this last you 4 days, Indy? You think?
It'd be tough.
It'd be tough.
I'd have to cut back
Just
a little
one of those a day.
I'd have to cut back a little bit.
Yeah. Those look like fucking shotgun shells, dude. You know? Like, those are fucking massive. When the one person in the squad who never smokes asked to hit the blunt.
Oh! Everybody goes
I can
crazy.
hear that picture. That's what's funny.
Yep.
So
nice.
Elon
Grandma.
fucked small business on Twitter. I was getting 20 to 30 orders a month, and this month I've gotten 8. If you see this, please RT. All my bongs are 25% off over at Wasted Water Pipes. You know, does it come with the set? Does this come in the set? You know?
It can.
Yeah.
We're not being paid
Goes
for
in
that
the fine
promotion,
china
by the way.
cabinet.
We're not being paid for that promotion.
Care Bear, if you're still here, someone crocheted a Care Bear for you.
That's awesome.
But isn't it? Can I get the next one? Where did it? Photo 2. Look at that. Isn't that cute?
That's after he hit the bong.
Right?
That's high bear.
You got to put one of those doll eyes in it where it like actually goes to sleep, you know? That rip you got to take when the cart is clogged up.
Oh.
Is this?
Yep. And then you hear like that pop and it goes and it hits you right in the back of I don't know what that
Colin says, I don't accept that.
I don't accept that.
This is definitely going to happen. I feel like if Snoop Dogg has anything to do with it.
Why would it be loud?
Ziploc Loud. Because that's a name for weed.
Oh.
Like your weed is loud. That's that good shit. The loud.
Okay.
Keeps weed fresh. Anyway.
It should have a built-in humidifier to keep it like at temperature.
Yep. Here you go.
Come on. No. That's an interesting way to light your bong. Nature.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Nature.
Fucking damn nature. You screw. A man dual wielding raw steaks slaps diners in the face at vegan restaurant, yelling, "If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding."
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Eat your meat.
That's
anyway.
Fucking hilarious.
Speaking of,
what's wrong with people?
So many things. Scrolling Twitter.
Cheeseburgers, Randy.
Yep.
Hamburger. Okay, too soon.
Nice.
I mean,
Cheeseburger
that kind of slaps.
Bro.
Yeah.
A cheeseburger taco? All right.
Oh.
Okay, too
he had to
soon.
get he had to get that in there. It's so fucking dumb. Here we go.
Oh, Patrick. We all know this is the voice of Patrick, by the way.
Is it? That's not the voice of Patrick, but
We're making Patrick. Patrick is the starfish, so welcome.
Am I just doing a casing?
Yes, that's just a casing because I've gone a slightly different colour. Essentially, the pink casing.
I could watch this for
We won't be using this
hours.
until the very end.
What
It's going to be on the outside.
We have one of these places in Tallahassee too. They have a YouTube channel as
Oh,
well.
that looks like Patrick.
Gorgeous. Giorgio Armani. Stunning. Yes, Candy. No. Travel safe.
Shout out to @StickyLollies.
What are you doing, man?
What?
I'm doing Ferg challenge me to a one-handed stretch.
Yeah, now we're pulling, making white,
This is it.
adding air.
Patrick from SpongeBob.
No, this is Patrick.
The anticipation is killing the crowd.
Wow.
This is Patrick.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is also cool, and I brought this for Dad Zone, because I feel like this is a dad move.
Nice.
You know, just fucking
Bro.
throw that
I need
bitch out.
one. I need
How-
one.
How
Five.
cool is that?
Is that
You-
five seats? Two?
Yeah.
4, 5. Dude, I think there's actually 6 seats there. Nice.
Yep. Give you a little buffer zone.
Rock on, dude.
Yep.
I like that.
I do too. Here we go.
He wanted me to include one of my children, and I only have one child. Her name is Abby, and she's here.
Abby.
So you wanted some background? Like I dress like this every day. As soon as I get up at 4 a.m. Every morning. I go for a run, and then I run for about 12 miles. Then I come back. I make sure the house is all clean and tidy. I do all the dishes, and I wash.
That's not true. It's not true.
So I do all the dishes. I make sure the dogs are bathed, and that way, when my wife gets up, like everything is done. So I'm very diligent in that.
Bye.
No, Abby.
That's not true.
Just for a minute, please.
You can't lie to me.
Can you lie for me? Yeah. You can't lie.
So you asked about my diet. I only eat vegetables. There's no pizza.
Come on, you eat chips and milk. Oh, come on, you eat sugar all the day.
I don't eat egg sandwiches or iced tea. I'm total water and no, please. If I do get water, from if I do get an order from the deli, I just get water and like a veggie wrap or something. You asked how I met my wife. I was a center fielder for the New York Yankees, and I was playing in one day.
I thought you would like that.
That kid's great. Hell yeah, that's my kid right there. My kid will totally sell me out.
So, hear me out. Adult-only airlines. I know that could have some other meanings, but I feel you.
Do you know? I'm gonna tell you something after this is over. Wow.
Oh my god.
They haven't even taken off yet, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, all right. So what's really funny is when I first met my wife, and what I was saying throughout my 20s, and I didn't get married until my late 30s, what I was always saying was that parents of young children that do that should, at the end of the flight, be forced to stand at the front of the plane and apologize to every passenger on the fucking flight. And my wife used to laugh at me and say, you know, when you're a parent, you're going to feel very differently about that. I don't. Because if my kid acts like that, it is my responsibility to stand up there and apologize to every person that paid hundreds of dollars to be on that flight to have to listen to my kid fucking scream. I will die on that hill. My wife thinks it's hilarious.
Here you go. New fear unlocked.
Oh, it's a tarantula.
Sorry. It's recording.
It's all right. It's okay.
Bro, how do you think the spider felt? He was freaked out, homie.
Bro.
You know?
Bro.
His whole house fell. You know?
Gamers saying airlines after dark. That's very funny.
Airlines after dark, yeah.
Daddy. You want to go see Daddy?
That's the mailman.
That is the mailman who just shoved the mail through the slot.
Right in his
Daddy.
face.
You want to see Daddy?
Standing on the car. But, oh, I didn't see him go down hard.
Yeah. This one's, oh my god, you ready? Here you go.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, fuck. Like, what did he think was going to happen?
Well, first of all, the vibration that goes through your hands from hitting a metal pole with a metal bat. Dude. Brains need some help.
Yep.
Why is she a black belt? Oh, that's like Taekwondo class, yeah. My son just got his yellow stripe, and that's what he had to do, break a board.
Nice. Yeah.
But I think the board was a little thicker than that.
Almost. Go again.
A little more weight on it. Try it again.
There you yeah. One more. Go through.
Oh, that's hurting your foot. I'll bet that kid's foot hurts. Like, dude, you're not doing that.
That works.
Okay.
Yep. Here you go, and then it goes from that to a couple years later.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh! You see Mom's hands
she
went right to her
straight up
face.
fucking
Kicked him right in the face.
like,
Oh!
yeah.
Oh!
You know, who was the wrestler who had that
Bro,
kick?
Forget that's
forget.
Shawn Michaels, but no, that's what that looked like last night.
Oh yeah, yeah. Poor
Poirier.
Poirier.
Poor Dustin Poirier got knocked
Oh my
the fuck
God.
out.
Yeah. Good on my man Justin. I like both of them, so it sucked for me too. But you know, somebody's got to win. All right, you ready for this one? That's how it looks.
That's a very good cut. Whoever did that, very good editing.
That's very good at it.
Oh no! Oh, is there
another
video?
one.
Is there video?
No,
I don't need
video. Just
one.
this one.
I don't need video.
Yeah, this is enough.
Next.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh boy.
When you gotta take the binky away, you know.
Tink, tink. Rock tinky, tinky. That's sick.
He got another one in
you
reserve.
Don't need it, Sakai. That's a pass you had when you was a baby.
He got another one in reserve.
Oh my
he had three.
He had three.
He was ready with a third one in reserve.
He's probably got another one in his diaper too.
Oh, here you go, Indy. You know,
nobleness. Oh my God.
I could have bananas. If I get close enough. Bonan.
Nan.
Look at the dad's face.
Bonan.
Like, oh, Bonan. Monkey like Bonan.
No Bonan.
So, Papa, here comes the train.
Oh! What a face! Choo choo! Choke.
Local man paralyzed after eating 413 chicken nuggies.
Why would he be paralyzed?
You know,
all the GMOs.
Good question. Maybe. I didn't ask that question.
No. We're up to our cats or dicks fucking segment. There you go, Colin.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go. I got it. And
Spicy.
Why is it spicy?
Name of the fucking cat.
Hey, Spicy.
Spicy. Are you spicy? Ah! I knew crows were smart, but this one is actually dipping his nuggies. Like,
nice.
Just don't eat 413 of them, crow.
He likes the sauce.
Don't do that.
He likes the sauce.
Yeah.
What
do you think the crow is? You think it's like a honey mustard or like
Wendy's likes the ghost pepper ranch sauce that's in containers is pretty decent, spicy. Anyway,
yeah, this is my dog right now.
He can ring the doorbell. Come on.
Yep.
Crows have yellow beaks. So sweet and sour. That's funny. Nice teamwork. The champ.
Dog, can you tell the people why you had to demand to get inside? Huh? No? No? You're just gonna yell at me? Okay. Let me replug in my headset. Cool. Here we go. Look, it's Jesse Jet.
Oh. What's that one down there doing?
Isn't that cute?
What's that lower one doing there?
I mean, don't ask questions, you know?
Seriously, that's what it looked like, bro.
What? Yep. Here you go. Made new friends.
מה אתם חברים? יו! הוא לא רוצה להיות חבר שלך, אתה לא מבין?
Are those iguanas? Oh yeah.
מה אתם חברים?
Yeah.
Those are some huge iguanas.
Yeah,
Dude, it
they
looks
are.
like he's got a ball sack under his chin.
What? I mean,
Look at that
they're
iguana's
iguanas.
chin. Look at the iguana's chin.
Yep, I know. That's yep. Look at him.
Look at the boy. Is that Mosey? Do you want to build a snowman? Oh.
Look at him getting the snowflakies.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to put any more of that music.
That's so cute.
Oh, trash panda.
I love him.
Little trash panda.
Yeah.
Okay. Hide the nuts.
There was an attempt to hide the nuts.
Wow. These nuts.
But wait, there's more.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more. I see it by the thumb. These nuts.
Yep. By the way, these pouches go all the way down to like their hips.
Yeah, they can
I don't know
store
if you knew.
a lot of these nuts.
A lot of nuts. That's a lot of nuts.
That's a huge bitch.
Here you go. You ready?
Cats are dicks.
Look, squirrel.
Flying squirrel.
I love the face the cat makes. Like,
that literally
you
is
fly.
The embodiment of Tim Allen.
I know, right? Look at them horsies.
Oh,
look at the horsies. Can I eat you? Nom 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 nom. The cat's just like, this is fine.
Cats are dicks.
Yep. Here we go.
Crab.
I just love him floating on a little coconut.
What do you do when the nut?
Crab people, crab people, crab people.
That kind of works.
Yep.
Timing
Doesn't
wise. Yeah.
Yep. Just not a single thought behind those eyes. Look at him.
Oh my god.
Why he dumb? Look at the dumb boy. A literal blip.
I'm gonna go night
Blip. I know, dude.
I'm gonna take a
He's
nap
so
now.
sweepies.
I'm gonna take a nap. now.
Eepy. Oh, why? I don't know why they're this close, but
He needs a dentist.
he needs a dentist. What about this one? Does this one need a
I thought you
dentist?
were gonna play another sound that went on top of that.
No.
Gabby's coming back to the car. Gabby. 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 Gabby.
Oh.
You're a bloody naughty lion.
You're a naughty lion, Gabby.
Well,
How dare you?
Sure.
So his fish loves it when he gives him sausages. Meow. Okay, really?
We missed
really,
the smile.
Reddit? I know. I fix.
Yeah, that's right, Rick. Lions are dicks too. They're cats. It looks like Michael Moore.
The smile. Michael Moore. Huh?
Fahrenheit.
I feel like that's an insult to Michael Moore.
Well, it should be. Oh my. What the fuck? Is that a piranha?
Lamprey, I think.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Oh
yeah, close enough. Little fucking demigorgons.
Yes, I did say Michael Moore, Dr. Nick.
Yeah. Here you go. Fuck you.
Oh.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
What's up?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
They're both saying, what's up?
What's up?
Gotta get
cute
that
little
for the
wonkuses.
Gotta get that for the soundboard.
Yep.
Is that a
Here you go.
Is that a pig? It's a twerking roasted pig. Does that
I just
make
love
you
the kid
horny?
giggles at it.
Does that make you horny?
Does that? Do I? Do I? Next. Oh, this is just gonna make you upset.
How much is your watch?
1.5 million.
1.5
$1.5 million dollars.
A Bugatti.
Literally, all
Chiron.
Dr. Eva would have to do is steal this watch. Like that's it.
And he'd be a $500,000 richer than $1 million.
$1 million.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, Snow
wanted
Himbo.
to give a little shout out to Snow Himbo.
We had a few good ones, but fuck you, Mitch McConnell.
Fuck you.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Welcome. You've got mail.
You and Mitch are both frozen.
I'm fine. This week has been good bipartisan.
What?
By the way, you and
Why
Mitch
am
are...
I frozen?
Well, I think it was in the spirit of Mitch McConnell.
Like, why? Okay, hold on. See if I can fix it. It's just something. Hold on.
Refroze
do
like
this.
Refroze like Mitch McConnell, everybody.
do
Oh shit!
this.
They got the You Got Mail. Yes, You Got Mail. That's right. All of us are old enough to have signed into AOL or Prodigy and done dial-up. Okay, I see you in the corner, moving. But
Yeah,
the main,
I'm working on it.
But the main reef, not so much. I used to speak modem in my IT days. Nice, kill your hacker course.
Did that fix it?
Yes, we had a technical malfunction, as they like to call it. Glitch like Mitch, that's right. Who posted a funny tweet about
I don't know why it does that.
Like, how funny is it that the day that Mitch McConnell glitches out that they announce that aliens are real? Yep.
Have you been seeing like all the crazy like people behind politicians recently?
Mm-hmm.
Like the lady with
one
her
with the
fucking
eyes,
eyeballs and whatnot.
Crazy eyes that look like Katie Porter.
Yeah. Right. There was another one that was like staring at one just like without breaking eye contact for like 5 minutes and like not blinking.
Here's why women live longer than men. Oh. That was not a woman that jumped off that roof.
God.
I will bet.
No. No. He broke his coccyx probably.
Ow.
My
ass.
Here you go.
Ah, my ass.
All right. Pay attention to the man in green.
I'm watching. What? Was that a shoe?
He caught him with los chanclas, bro.
Whoa!
Yo,
and he's not even a Spanish mom.
No. But he
Damn.
learned from the best, I'm sure.
Dude, Richie Medhurst would be very proud of him and wish that he had thrown it at George W.
There was an attempt to get some sleep. Something is disrupting that sleep, though. I don't know what it is.
Thanks, Elmo.
Do you know what that is? Elmo, huh?
That's what the shit lips call him.
Don't besmirch Elmo like that. Elmo!
The shit lips call him Elmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy.
This guy right here. Who wanted to make X.com on his
PayPal,
on his
yes.
fucking watch him still have the same Visa card number and put it up on the internet.
XXX.com.
Yep. Yep. Well, Twitter name at Twitter name, so coming off the building right now, but Elon Musk didn't get permit for the equipment on the street, so SFPD is shutting it down.
Yeah, Elon doesn't give a fuck. He just does what he wants. He doesn't ask permission. He's like Honey Badger.
No. Yep.
That's a Bart. That's a server. That's not a server. Bro, he had that.
That's not a server.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
He had that.
Yeah, he fucked up. He fucked up. Here we go. And action.
Dong.
والله بس بخوف فرما ورا هاتوا ابشد يبوظ
I don't think that's going to work out so good for him.
ولا ده بيبقى شوي سريع مش سريع هيك كاكا ده بابك
It's so funny.
I love how he just bent the thing
I
on
love it
his
so
head.
much. Yep. So, all right. So you give the old lady two choices. You can cook at home, like we can cook at home, or eat at an exclusive members only club.
Okay.
Right? She chooses eat at an exclusive members club. Yay! Oh, fuck, it's Costco.
Bro, best value meal there is. From the hot dog and a drink for $1.50 to the chicken bake. That's pretty good. The
hot
pizza,
dog.
Actually, the pizza is the least favorite thing at Costco of mine, but the hot dogs are ridiculously good.
Yep. Hot dog so good.
Exclusive club.
Here you go. Here's the cops.
Gotta be France.
Fool to buy some string.
Oh my god.
We have to do
That's
that
great.
for people to see.
Doing.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I'm very happy with that.
That's awesome. Low enough that they wouldn't see it with their stormtrooper uniform. French. Had to be the French.
Isn't that funny?
Had to be the French.
Kill Tony. People should check out Kill Tony. Very good show.
I used to want to be a thug before I became a comedian. It's not funny, bitch.
I could have been a good thug, white lady. I could have been a great thug, but I know I couldn't be a thug because one day I was riding a car with some real thugs and the car got shot up. And that's when I realized that I was a bitch. Because I was the only one crying. And they were mad. Like, nigga, why are you crying? Nigga, they shooting at us. What do you mean? The worst thing about, I don't know if you notice or not, sir, when people shoot at you, they spin back. Did you know that? They always come back when they shoot at you. So they would shoot at us and they was coming back and I took my shirt off and I was like, hey nigga, we surrendered. We quit. Leave us alone. And all my homeboys was like, hey nigga, we need to retaliate. And I was like, that's the wrong word. Me, Cameron Patterson, I would like to retire.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Nice.
Very good. Minute set. Good for you.
I saw Rich Voss sitting there in the panel. Jersey's own Rich Voss.
Cooking, and my baby is right here doing his due diligence.
His what?
His what?
Baby is right here doing his due diligence.
His due diligence?
His
due diligence?
Due dissidence?
I'm gonna have to grab that. I'm gonna grab that for the soundboard.
Shout out to Keenan Russell.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do it. Well, fuck it. We'll do it live.
I'm cooking, and my baby is right here doing his due diligence.
Wait, no, back.
Cooking, and my baby is right here doing his due diligence.
Perfect.
Hi.
What the fuck did you just say? Doing my what?
Diligence. Diligence.
Babe, stop.
I don't know.
Stop. You might as well say president. Might as well fucking say president. I'm doing my due diligence.
President what?
My due diligence. You like due diligence. Due diligence. Don't do that shit, babe. For real, for real.
What is it?
Babe, you can't come here and be cute and then fuck up like that. You gotta say something we know. Something we know together.
All right, my baby's doing his stuff that he gotta do. Around the house. He's
stuff that he
mowing the
gotta
lawn.
Say it. Say it.
Diligence.
It's due diligence. You about to fuck me up.
Due diligence.
Due diligence.
Due diligence.
Due diligence. That sounds like my niece.
Due diligence.
That sounds like my niece.
Oh my god, that's
Doing
great.
his due diligence.
Oh.
Due
God.
diligence.
Look,
That's
it's a giant fuck off drone.
That is a drone.
Look how big that is.
Is that what just blew up Moscow?
Oh my
City?
god. I don't know if it's this one.
I don't think it's that one.
No, definitely not that one. He pizzaed when he should have French fried. Cool. Also different kind of drone for that. This is for Spoopy. Spoopy, if you're here. I figured you would enjoy this one. He's late to church.
Nice.
Sister's getting it, ain't she?
She's going downhill. That's a downhill run.
Like do 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 do.
Or she's not. That's
It's
not
like
an,
very.
That's not an e-bike either.
No, that's just a regular bike. You know, Lance Armstrong be wanting those communion wafers next. You know what I'm saying?
Mastermind hour. That's the flying nun. Yes, you nailed it.
The flying nun, literally the flying nun. All right, here you go.
That's a good one.
In Russia,
We feed bear. No, not raccoon.
Big Bear.
Big Bear.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The problem is when you run out of food.
Hi,
Ты у него пена въебала от сладкого.
Фуё!
Он так аккуратно берет, блядь.
No.
Ай-я.
Dude. What the fuck? Okay.
Faces of
I feel like the
death,
foaming at the
Mastermind.
mouth might have been. Yeah, like. Okay, have you seen this?
No.
This guy. This is a bit old. That's why I'm asking. But it's this guy's getting like a ticket right now, and like he's bullshitting with the cops, and like he's like sitting in the car. So who does he ask for help?
Hear us, please, Donald Trump. Please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump. Please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me. Please get these people away from me. In your God's name, please stop this truth.
Who? What? I'm sorry. Say again. I figured that was it. Help me, Tom Cruise.
They're break.
Why?
Look at the fucking. Hold on, look.
Yeah,
Save me, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise used a witchcraft on me to get the fire off me.
Use the witchcraft on me. Get the fire off me.
The Tom Cruise.
Oh,
Oh my God, that's
I
great.
love it so much.
Oh, that's so good. Help me, Tom Cruise at the end is just made it. But wait, I was also gonna say,
Don't be rude.
don't invoke
That's
Donald
it.
Trump for a simple traffic stop. Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
Traffic stop. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so they're trying to do that TikTok thing where you kill the wasps with gasoline. Let's see how it works out for them.
2, go.
Oh no.
Go.
Uh-oh.
Rich, get out. Get out.
Get out,
All right.
get out.
Get out.
That is an epic scream.
All right, here you go. This one's for you.
This is what it looks like to swim at 5:30 a.m. in Nisritz. This is what it's like to hangover swim in the Jersey Shore. Water is poop brown. Oh.
Did she just get some in her mouth? Well, she was saying poop brown.
Yep. That's what it's like on the fucking Jersey Shore. Anyway, I found you a new alarm. Because I know you need it. Wake up from your naps. You ready?
Oh my God.
Get the fuck up.
That's for my kids for the morning. I'm hooking that up to their beds
That'd be
immediately.
great.
Oh my God, that's great.
Wake up, asshole.
Senpai.
All right, here you go.
That's clean. Ow. Uh-oh. Spotter? Anybody got a spot? Oh! Whoa! Hey now! What the fuck was that?
Just almost death, you know.
What?
So
what the fuck?
Yeah, seriously, Jimmy.
You know. This one's great. Oh my God. So they're asking her about fucking flight cancellations and transportation and shit.
Just a final question here. Is there any sort of work being done with the airlines in order to get flights actually on time or not delayed as much? Just curious if there's any work happening there.
Yes. So we've seen almost a doubling in terms of improvement on-time performance since last year. That is a reflection of all the work that we've done across the ecosystem together with our partner airlines, with agencies, reducing processing time, reducing wait times, and fine-tuning operations with our air carrier partners. And we see the great results that have come from that.
Oh, that is... Mwah.
And she's standing under the sign saying they're all delayed. That is outstanding.
Yeah. I fucking like, look at that board, dude. Like,
cameraman sacrificing his job.
Delayed.
That's really funny.
Delayed.
Yes, nobody told the cameraman to shift his focus. Retard and retard.
You use the hour.
Yes.
What? Here you go. This is your next interview?
I don't usually mind overtime. It's like.
I don't recommend you drive while we do this.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm parked up now.
Thanks for choosing Chef Popeyes. My name is Diane Coffee, and I'm from Thomas today.
May I have a fish sandwich, please? No.
Okay. Are you available to work weekends?
Oh yes.
Fish sandwich?
Fish sandwich, please. Saturday and Sunday.
Anything else?
Just one fish sandwich. That'll be all.
486 per round. Thank you.
Thank you. Saturday and Sunday is perfect.
Multitasking.
You know I can see you. I know you're ordering food, but on this interview.
No, I'm not. I'm parked up. I'm in my car right now.
I can see that you're ordering a fish sandwich.
Is that Tom Green?
While you're doing this interview with me.
No, I'm not ordering anything.
so.
If I was, I'd be at Popeyes, but.
I heard you ask for a fish sandwich. Do you need to order food, or would you like to do this interview?
No, I'll do the interview. Yeah, I wasn't ordering food. If I was, I already ordered it, but
Bro, that you gotta send me that because we need to show that on Nobody Wants to Work Anymore on Thursday night.
Sure.
Holy shit, that's great.
I can do that.
I hope Himbo's here watching that. Himbo, bro, that's great. Ordering McDonald's in the drive-thru while you're interviewing. That is called.
Yeah, that's great.
That is fucking professional level multitasking right there. Ugh.
Here you go.
That's my favorite boat.
She's gonna tell you how to. This is gonna tell you how to like. See if it's gonna
The
rain.
rain is coming. How do you know the rain is coming? Look at the freaking sky. It is coming. We don't need to weather channel here. We just look up in the sky.
meet the weather channel
guy. Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah.
She's all right.
Sure.
We're not doing well. Let me call the Russians to help.
What goes up must come.
You know that guy there could have held the ladder the whole time, right? You're fired.
It coulda.
Bro, you're so fired.
You're fired.
So fired.
Yep. OSHA's gonna have a word.
Why are the dumb ones
your
always
wedding?
so dumb? Yes. Mastermind.
Well, that's not good.
That does not bode well for the marriage. Fly!
Fucking yeah, that's probably not a good omen. I say get out now while you still can, lady.
Fly.
You want some bologna?
What's up, Unc? What's up, big guy?
Just chilling, man.
Oh, come on.
Bologna, man. I'm trying to sell, man. Shit. Bologna? Yeah, I'm trying to come up. Man, where you get that bologna from, man? Shit,
your fridge?
Chilling, man. Miss Hattie called me up to the door, man. Shit, she met me and shit. I was trying to hit me a little lit. She went to the bathroom. I went in the refrigerator, big guy. I ain't seen nothing.
I told you.
You went in the lady refrigerator and took just the bologna, man? Man, she ain't gonna miss it, big dog. Man, he took Miss Hattie bologna, man. Where she at? Man, you know Miss Hattie right here calling me. Miss Hattie calling you? Put on speakerphone.
What's with his jaw?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Correct.
Well, yes.
They gonna Miss Hattie on the phone now. You been in the lady refrigerator?
Man, I ain't going no refrigerator, man. When I left out, I went in there to fix my children a sandwich, and all my motherfucking meat gone.
You done took all
You
the
took
lady
all
meat.
of
You
it.
took more than the bologna. She said all the meat gone.
Shit, I ain't took the ham and the turkey.
Man, they were
You took the ham and the turkey and the bologna.
They were giving this meat away up the street.
Man, take that lady bologna back. He got some bologna with him right now. I'm dropping the dime.
Oh.
I had to sneak it in his back pocket when I let him get a water bottle out the refrigerator.
Yeah, I'm dropping the dime on this one. Yeah. I got to drop the dime. Miss Hattie, he round here trying to sell that bologna right now to me.
This ain't the kind she had. This ain't the kind she had.
That ain't the kind she had.
No, this ain't the kind she had. This comes from the dollar store.
Miss Hattie, he got bologna right now. I don't know what kind of brand it is. He just was telling me he
Looks
pulled
like
it.
Oscar Mayer
I'm
to
dropping
me.
the dime. I got to drop the dime on this here. Because get what? You wrong, man. I ain't nah.
Nah, man.
Look, I ain't get this out of her refrigerator.
Miss Hattie, I'm going to hold him till you come. Come on, Miss Hattie.
Oh, I want to see her beat his
All right.
ass.
Man, don't do that, man. Why you do that?
That would be pretty funny.
Man, I'm the lady bologna, man.
Give me the lady bologna, man.
She coming now.
Yeah, she'll go away. Bought that bologna. I'm going to give it back to her. I'm going to bail you out this one. Nah, I ain't going to tell her nothing, man, because you wrong on that one. Don't roll,
You're not
man.
gonna tell her. She
coming up the
knows.
street.
Right.
Man, you better go on roll, man.
Get on his fucking
big
bicycle
time,
and
too.
head up out of here.
Dude, how does that guy even
We
stand
up
up?
out of here.
How does that guy even stand up straight?
Yeah.
He looks whacked
Oh my
out.
god, dude.
Whacked out of his
Yep.
brains on drugs.
His eyeballs were coming. Like, what? This is not the next episode of The Walking Dead. This is San Francisco. What the fuck is going on there? Like, what the fuck? Like, can we figure that out, California? Can we?
It's San Fran.
You do something? Holy shit. Elon, you're over there. Instead of fucking putting an X up, how about giving them like a fucking house? How about that?
Shout out to Ooga Booga over on the Rumbles and Dushyant.
Nice.
111. We got a couple people chatting over there.
Oh my god, dude. Like,
Bro.
what?
Woken up with a chainsaw? Oh my god.
He grabs it. He fucking grabs the thing. Why would you grab it?
There's a safety in the chain, but still. Jesus Christ. That's not
Well,
funny.
no. Like, there's no chain on it.
Not funny.
There literally is zero chain. But if there was a chain, I would not be grabbing it.
No.
I got a couple of scars to show from that. I fucking love that. God damn it, Lisa. Fuck.
Stop fucking with me.
Fucking shit. Where's God damn it. Oh,
You
there it
are
is.
tearing me apart, Lisa!
There it is. I had it. Here you go. Look, Toyota.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Do-da, do-da. Hope I get away with it. Oh, do-da, day. Oh, chips. Hell yeah. That's convenient.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What is he in, like the car wash?
We fucking signed her a little too fucking hard, Bob.
We sent it a little too fucking hard there, bud. That's right.
Wow.
Flooding. Time to do some sketchy shit, doo-da. Speaking of San Francisco, I know a shortcut. If I just go right through here.
And he's okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Wow.
Can we get a different angle of that? No. Looked fun though. Whee!
Dude. To take a shortcut.
Oh God. No. Yes. Cool.
Message for the FBI. I am no longer at my house. I am no longer occupying my domicile. You will not find me. I am loose. I have all my devices with me.
You have all your devices with you, which means they'll find you.
Yeah.
This is a message for the FBI. I am.
This is a message for the FBI. Oh God. I have all my devices.
Nice.
So this is how school toilet paper is made. Perfect.
Like shaving wood. Literally making paper out of shaving wood.
I mean, honestly, that's better than some of the toilet paper you be finding, really.
Single ply, yeah, you
bet. You know? Like, you know, get a couple plies of that, like, you'd probably be alright. Is DJ Comatose still here? This one's for you.
What the fuck do DJs actually do?
There you go. Shout out to Chris Legion. Shout out to Chris Legion too.
Yeah. Yep.
Greg.
Do.
That was good.
Yeah, I gotta go. Can I type?
Oh.
Emotional damage.
No, that's physical damage.
Nope, I'm all right.
He's okay.
I'm good. Yep. Ladders. They're just the best. Make way, Indy.
Make way! What are you doing? Matt Gates! I got you the underage girl! I got you the underage girl!
This guy's a real
You can have her!
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
You can
great.
have her!
Who controls property here? Do you know?
I know that guy. I'm kidding.
Do you?
Can you find out who controls the property here, please? Whoever controls the property, can you send them?
Can I have my doll back? Stop.
No women were harmed. Oh God. So Hell's Kitchen, New York.
I posted this the other day. I retweeted this. This is crazy. Hope you weren't underneath there.
Oh fuck. Or in that building.
Or
in that building. Yeah, and then or underneath there. Oh my God.
Running like freaking scattered.
Fuck yeah. Like smart people. Holy shit. New York, New York.
Jeez. I don't know if anybody was hurt.
Yep, I don't either, honestly. Probably a few.
He was gonna eat his foot. He was gonna chop that foot.
He was on his little toes.
Oh my God. Wow.
Chomp that foot. So we were asked to cover this.
Angel. This is
Welcome to the UN. Where we have a good time here.
This is called international relations, everybody.
Now look, sex work is work, but those guys do not deserve your service.
Those are
You
some
know?
intense negotiations.
Yep. In pants negotiations. Yep. Well, cool. You know how we end things here, right?
Okay.
Nome de... Sai daí.
That's a rice
E Vitória, se
cooker.
você morrer, eu tô gravando. Não fui eu que matei, não sou ele que mata sniper. Menino corajoso! Que susto! Que susto! Gabriel, essa panela aí tá quente.
Boom!
I love the shitty recorder version of the Titanic theme.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Oh, it's slow.
Yeah.
Atenção, no carro vou falar antes do ocorrido.
Como que a Isabela morreu? Vou chegar lá no céu, todo mundo. Ah, eu salvei uma vida, eu era bombeiro. Puta, eu tava na Segunda Guerra Mundial. Eu, panela de pressão, matou.
I was waiting for it. Wait for it.
Sai daí, merda!
Where's your rice?
Você vai estar gravando, merda?
That bomb is right.
Queimou meu pé. O fogão afundou.
Oh my god, look at the fucking kitchen.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit, dude. That's fucked up.
Wow.
Well, gasoline tank went airborne. Here you go.
Whoa.
There it goes. Oh my god.
Heyo.
Hold on, I want to see that again. Hold on. Here we go. Let's back it up. It fucking went. It went that way.
We got a comment over on Rumble. Northside CA 707 probably seems confusing to you guys, but stealing a car and immediately crashing it in that manner is legal in San Francisco.
Okay. Sure.
Nice. Thank you.
Here we go.
Nice to see you.
This is in Greece.
I did hear about that. Yes. Wow.
Holy shit.
That's coming right for us. Boom. You get the delay. And then you get the sonic boom.
Yep. Yeah, that's smart. I'd drive away.
Run.
That's smart. Well, that's boats, everybody. You're
All
welcome.
right.
Now Indy's gonna go over to
We're not going to Da Vinci. Da Vinci? What? I'm not going to Da Vinci. I'm going to the live
You're gonna
stream
go edit
schedule.
it right after this.
Well, that's afterwards. But before that, this past week, we added heads to our schedule. You can go to twitter.com or x.com/getindynews. And usually I try to make sure that the current day's live stream schedule is posted, or the most recent one. So right now it's pinned here.
Yep.
You are here. But I do have next week coming up, Monday, we have a new guest host for Politically Homeless with Greg. Chris is taking a bit of time off. So we're going to have Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine. Tuesday night, we don't have anything currently scheduled. There may be something coming up. And then Wednesday, we're going to have INN News with Reef and Colin. Thursday, we're going to be running Nobody Wants to Work Anymore. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern with me and Snow Himbo. Actually, Thursday afternoon also, because Angel's got some family in town, 1 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be doing Angel in the Afternoon on Thursday this week instead of Friday. Friday, you can be sure to catch Tara. She's scheduled for a 3 p.m. Eastern interview with Chris Ems. By the way, shout out to Tara. She will be starting a new job tomorrow on TNT Radio, doing a 5-day-a-week show with Chris Ems. So check that out.
What's that called?
I don't remember what the name of it was, but she said it. But it was funny and appropriate. in something. But
no.
Then Friday night, we got boats. We'll run what we just saw here as its own show. So does Angel only react to Kyle videos? No, I think he reacts to others, but he certainly is building an audience on shitting on Kyle Kalinske. And a guy with 1 million subs that you can pick apart. It's not a bad thing to do. People made a whole career and a channel out of picking on Trump. Ask Krista Ivalis and ask Farron Cousins. But next Saturday night, we got Bitch with Comrade Misty. And then Sunday, we'll do How Do We Miss That again here on August 6th. That's 7 days from now. So, Reef, what were you?
Oh, I remember what it's called. It was the Inquisition.
The Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
That's what it
That's
is.
true. Shout out to Misty. Shout out to all my INN family. Go to inn.network to subscribe to all the channels. Follow us on twitter.com/getindienews. And any updates or changes to the schedule will be published there. Man, after going through that whole UPS-Teamster thing, I hate it here. What the fuck?
Yep.
And then,
yep.
So yeah, if you didn't get a chance to catch Nobody Wants to Work Anymore, that's a new show that Himbo and I came up with. We've both been looking for jobs, and we were experiencing some similar things, and we wanted to do a show where we talked about some of the bullshit that goes around job hunting. And it's very different for anything I've ever done. I had a blast doing it. We're going to probably record another one tomorrow night and put that out Thursday as a pre-record.
Gamer said, Due Dissonance is on Wednesday. You know.
Due diligence. Yep. Brain is overloaded. Yep. So 6 days next week, we will have live programming. Check out the clips on Indie Left Media as well as on INN for INN News. And I'm going to say goodnight, everyone, and tell you to keep questioning everybody's motivations. And again, I fucking hate it here sometimes.
Keep listening to what Birds have to tell you.
Bye. Have a great time.
Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. Co-hosted normally by me, Indie. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me.
At Kennedy News.
Is Andrew Rivera on The Handsome Cynic?
Politics is survival.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
I mostly make art for INN.
Big Man Crab Joe. Keep up those great videos.
Hey guys, it's Yeti. Coming at you.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion.
Keep fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say?